Chapter 56. When Long Yu's figure appeared, everyone was shocked. Feng Yun stood up with a frown on his face. Long Yu had returned. What about Li Chong? What about Feng Zhangxing, Feng Tianxiang, and the others? Could it be that Long Yu did not go through the forest but took a detour? Otherwise, there was no reason why he could not stop this useless kid. Ha ha ha, Master Feng Yun, how impressive! Long Yuha immediately saw the white-clothed Feng Yun. He also saw Tan Yu, who was sitting next to Feng Yun, as well as everyone else sitting in the hall of the Feng clan's courtyard. Tan family! A white-haired old man was drinking wine in the courtyard with a dozen members of the Tan family. Long Yu was reminded of Tan Jian, whom he had killed in ancient ginseng forest. Unfortunately, no one in the Tan family knew that Tan Jian had been killed by Long Yu. The members of the Tan family looked at Long Yu with dissatisfaction. The Tan family's elder's eyes flashed with murderous intent when he saw Long Yu. He knew that his precious granddaughter, Tan Yu, had been bullied by Long Yu not long after joining the Jintian clan and had one of her legs broken. That alone was enough to make the Tan family's elder want Long Yu's life. Like grandfather, like granddaughter. It was because the Tan family's elder doted on her that Tan Yu had developed an unruly princess syndrome. Qin family. Long Yu looked to the other side and saw Qin Rong who had fought him for the soaring Serpent King's core, sitting next to a middle-aged man with a face full of hatred. The middle-aged man was Qin Rong-er's father, the father of Qin Tianke whom Long Yu had killed, Qin Duan, the Qin family's elder. At this moment, upon seeing Long Yu, Qin Duan's eyes immediately burned with hatred and fury. Qin Rong-er had been chased out of the Zhentian clan, and Qin Duan naturally knew that Long Yu had killed Qin Tianke. How could he hold himself back when he saw Long Yu? He must avenge his son today. Luo family. Long Yu saw that even the Luo clan, which he had never had any relations with in the past, was present. However, the Luo clan had always kept a low profile. Amongst the 4 great clans of Jade Pass City, the Luo clan was the one that had the least dealings with the other clans. But even so, when Feng Yun became the head of the Feng clan, a whole table of people from the Luo clan came to celebrate. Feng Yao, Lu Yu. The mother and daughter sat on one side of the hall, their faces filled with astonishment. Clearly, they did not expect Long Yu to return at this time. However, while the mother and daughter were present, Feng Chang'e was nowhere to be seen. I heard that foster father was injured by Feng Yun, but this mother and daughter still have the mood to congratulate Feng Yun. What a bastard! Long Yu's eyes glinted coldly, but he ignored Feng Yao and Lu Yu for the time being. The most important thing now was to see Feng Chang'e. Feng Yun, where is my adoptive father? Long Yu looked at Feng Yun and asked sternly. The moment he said this, a middle-aged man beside Feng Yun stood up and looked at Long Yu mockingly. Today is the day my son Feng Yun becomes the head of the Feng clan. Who do you think you are, trash? How dare you make a fuss here and be rude to the head? This middle-aged man was Feng Yun and Feng Luo's father, Feng Changtian. The seats in the hall were occupied by the direct descendants of the Feng clan, such as Feng Luo, Feng Yang, etc. Unfortunately, Feng Qianqian was killed by Yu Qianing in ancient ginseng forest, so she would not be able to see this scene today. Feng Luo and Feng Yang looked at Long Yu with eyes filled with hatred. Who asked them to be humiliated by Long Yu? Head? Long Yu laughed coldly. Just a piece of trash like Feng Yun is qualified to be the head of the Feng clan? What a joke. The moment he said this, the people around him started cursing. Feng Yun is an expert in the 9th level of the martial path. How can a piece of trash like you insult him? It's only right for cousin Feng Yun to be the head of the Feng clan. If he doesn't become the head, do you think a piece of trash like you will become the head? How dare you cause trouble at this time? You really don't know what's good for you. Following the last sentence, a figure suddenly burst forth and dashed towards Long Yu. I, Feng Lin, will teach you a lesson. I'll let you know what kind of thing you are. The young man who rushed over was called Feng Lin. He was a genius from the Feng clan's side branch. He was currently in the 6th level of the martial path, and was very strong. Seeing Feng Lin make a move, many in the crowd revealed a mocking smile. This Long Yu had really embarrassed Feng Yun by barging in today. This kid would definitely be taught a lesson. But very quickly, the smiles on their faces froze. You should be the one to know what kind of thing you are, right? Long Yu sneered. His body didn't move and he directly punched out. Feng Lin thought that Long Yu was still a piece of trash. Seeing this, he laughed disdainfully and punched out to fight with Long Yu. Bang! With a loud bang, Feng Lin's arm was directly crippled by the huge force. His whole body flew a few feet away and fell to the ground. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. The entire crowd was silent. Those who wanted to see Long Yu make a fool of himself were instantly dumbfounded. Only those who knew that Long Yu's strength was not too bad were not surprised by this scene. For example, the Qin clan's patriarch Qin Duan, Feng Yun, Ling Lai, etc. Qin Duan knew that Long Yu had killed his son, Qin Tianke. He was definitely not someone that Feng Lin, who was only at the 6th level of the martial path, could deal with. As for Feng Yun and Ling Lai, they knew that Long Yu was a core disciple of the Zhentian clan. It was even more impossible for him to be defeated by Feng Lin. How dare you? Feng Yun looked at Long Yu and said indifferently, wantonly injuring people in my Feng clan, don't you think you've gone too far? Then according to you, I should just stand here and let him kill me? Long Yu coldly snorted. I only have one sentence. Feng Yun's indifferent face turned into a sneer. It's not up to a piece of trash like you to decide who is in charge of the Feng clan. In the past you were a piece of trash. In the future, you will still be a piece of trash. Moreover, you injured people in the Feng clan. If I don't teach you a lesson today, won't the hearts of the Feng clan be bitterly disappointed? Whether or not their hearts are bitterly disappointed, what does that have to do with me? Long Yu casually said, however, today, I really want to teach you a lesson on behalf of my foster father. I'll let you know what it means to respect your elders. As he finished speaking, a trace of killing intent flashed in Long Yu's eyes. This Feng Yun actually dared to injure his foster father. Today, he would not let him off easily. So what if he was at the 9th level of the martial path? Long Yu was confident that with his current strength, he could deal with Feng Yun without any suspense. First, he would defeat Feng Yun and intimidate everyone. Only then would he be able to pave the way for Feng Chang'e in the future. Seeing that the conflict between Long Yu and the Feng clan was getting more and more intense, the Tan and Qin clan, who were also filled with hatred towards Long Yu, held themselves back. First, they would watch the Feng clan fight amongst themselves, then they would reap the benefit. Wasn't that great? Feng Yun had stepped into the 9th stage of the martial path, and had become the Feng clan head. This made the other 3 clans feel a sense of crisis. If Feng Yun was allowed to take another step forward, wouldn't the entire Jade Pass city belong to the Feng clan? Their motive for coming here today wasn't just to congratulate Feng Yun. Since Long Yu had brought an appetizer, they didn't mind watching the show first. Senior brother Feng Yun, you don't have to personally deal with such a clown. At this moment Ling Lai, who was standing beside Feng Yun, stood up and looked at Long Yu with disdain. Let me, Ling Lai, take him down? All right. Feng Yun lightly nodded. Ling Lai was at the 9th stage of the martial path. Although he wasn't as strong as Feng Yun, it was more than enough to deal with Long Yu. When Ling Lai walked out, Long Yu squinted his eyes. You're Ling Lai, what's your relationship with Ling Han? Long Yu asked. Ling Han is my younger brother. Ling Lai casually said, then ridiculed. You're about to die, what's the point of asking about things that have nothing to do with you? Since you're Ling Han's older brother, I'll spare your life today. Long Yu said. The moment he said this, everyone, including Feng Yun, was stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. Ling Lai is an expert at the 9th stage of the martial path. Don't you think it's laughable that you're saying that you'll spare his life? Feng Yao's clear yet disdainful voice came from the side. It was better if she didn't say anything, but the moment she did, Long Yu immediately looked at her and laughed out loud. Ridiculous, ridiculous! Feng Yao, you're my godfather's daughter. Now that Feng Yun has stolen your father's patriarch position, don't you think that your actions are a little too shameless? Cousin Feng Yun is strong. Neither my father nor I are his match. Feng Yao lightly said, Don't tell me he shouldn't be the patriarch of the Feng clan? Well said, he should be the patriarch of the Feng clan because he's strong. Long Yu said disdainfully, Now, your father isn't here, but you're defending Feng Yun. Doesn't this mean that from today onwards, you'll no longer acknowledge your father and will follow Feng Yun? As soon as these words were spoken, many people in the surroundings shot strange gazes at Feng Yao. Feng Yao's pretty face was a little stiff, but her mother Lu Yu immediately spoke up. You useless brat, don't twist the truth. Feng Yun has become the patriarch of the Feng clan. As members of the Feng clan, what's wrong with us coming to congratulate him? On the other hand, you uncultured brat, how dare you cause trouble in the Feng clan? There's no need to talk nonsense with him. Let me take him down first. Ling Lai's eyes were filled with displeasure. As the 33rd core disciple of the Zhentian clan, he was extremely strong, but this Long Yu actually said that he would spare his life. This made him very unhappy. I'd like to see how a useless piece of trash like you can spare my life. Ling Lai's words were filled with mockery as he took a step forward and stood 10 feet away from Long Yu. As the two of them confronted each other, the people nearby made way for them so that they wouldn't be implicated if they fought later. Ling Lai, also from the Ling clan's villa. The supreme martial technique he cultivates should be the noble Tai Bai Chi. Long Yu thought to himself as he stared at Ling Lai and started to circulate his profound chi. Cloud swaying steps. Ling Lai's feet stomped on the ground heavily, and his entire body shot up into the sky, flying 10 feet high. The cloud swaying steps was an advanced martial technique of the Zhentian clan. It was said that when cultivated to perfection, one could step into the clouds, and it could be used with many martial technique. Dark wind break. Ling Lai, who was high up in the sky, waved his hands and gathered green profound chi in his hands. He then slapped down at Long Yu. Chapter 57. The moment Ling Lai executed this move, a piercingly cold astral wind blew. Not only did the heaven-suppressing will envelop Long Yu, it also enveloped everyone nearby. The guests who were suppressed by the heaven-suppressing intent were all shocked. What kind of power was this? It could actually stop the circulation of Xian Qi in their bodies and hinder their movements. If someone took the opportunity to attack them, they would definitely not be able to escape. As expected of a core disciple of the Zhentian clan, a terrifying expert in the 9th stage of the martial path. Even the Tan family's patriarch, who was not far away, could not help but feel the suppression on him. Terrifying, too terrifying. The heaven-suppressing intent of the 9th stage of the martial path was enough to suppress everyone present. Only the 7 major sects had cultivation technique. Even the Tan family's patriarch, who was in the 9th stage of the martial path, did not have any cultivation technique. Of course, it was impossible for him to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. At this moment, almost everyone felt that Long Yu would be defeated by Ling Lai in a single blow. After all, the power of this suppression was just too strong. However, the next moment, Long Yu brazenly made his move. 9 Underworld Dragon Seal, activate! With a thought, 100,000 kilograms of strength was transferred from the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal to Long Yu's entire body. The Xian Qi in his body boiled, causing his hand to emit a faint golden glow. Demon Subduing Vajra Seal, condense! A pale golden palm print flew out from Long Yu's palm and flew towards Ling Lai, who was descending from the sky. Ling Lai congealed green Xian Qi in his hand as he executed the mystic wind break to the perfect realm. He slammed his palm down on the golden light palm. Instantly, the pale gold xian qi and the green xian qi collided and dispersed in all directions. In the next moment, a faint golden glow appeared on the surface of Long Yu's body. He had actually used the demon-subduing Vajra shield. Ling Lai was indeed a 9th stage martial path expert, ranked 33rd among the core disciples. Long Yu's demon-subduing Vajra seal was unable to defeat him. A mysterious wind break palm descended from the sky and forcefully landed on Long Yu's head. Bang! With a heavy sound, a gust of wind spread in all directions, causing everyone's eyes to widen. A cultivator of the 9th stage of the martial path was so strong. Would Long Yu die instantly if his palm landed on his head? Is that all you have? Long Yu smirked. It's not even enough to tickle me. Under the demon-vanquishing Vajra shield, Long Yu was unscathed. He stomped his feet and activated the Blizzard Warboot. A gust of wind and snow swept Ling Lai's body into it. Demon-subduing Vajra seal. Long Yu condensed a pale golden profound energy once again and slapped Ling Lai, who had been swept into the snowstorm. It's actually a perfection stage body refining martial skill. Of course, Ling Lai could feel the aura on Long Yu's body. If it wasn't a body tempering technique that had reached the great perfection realm, it would have been impossible for Ling Lai to block his mysterious wind break. Ling Lai retreated a few steps when he saw Long Yu's giant palm strike. He then waved his hand and a white light was released. Noble Tai Bai Chi. As soon as the white light appeared, it immediately enveloped Long Yu. Together with the heaven-suppressing realm, it wanted to hinder Long Yu's movement. Immediately after, a white beam of light pierced through the air and struck Long Yu's golden palm print in an instant. With a loud bang, the white light and golden light scattered in mid-air. Long Yu retreated a few steps and seemed to be at a disadvantage. This Ling Lai's strength is not bad. He's the 33rd core disciple of the Zhentian clan. He's stronger than I thought. A bright light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. However, you won't have another chance? With a thought, he released the heaven-suppressing aura that he had comprehended. The explosion of the heaven-suppressing aura instantly broke through Ling Lai's realm and destroyed the noble Tai Bai Chi. This shocked everyone around once again. This burst of energy from Long Yu's body was actually stronger and more terrifying than Ling Lai's. The guests nearby were all suppressed by the heaven-suppressing aura. They felt as if Mount Tai was pressing down on them, making them almost unable to breathe. Under such pressure, not to mention fighting, even walking and eating would be a problem for them. And this was actually the power that exploded from Long Yu's body. At this moment, many people looked at Long Yu in a different light. The former trash Long Yu was no longer trash. He was an expert who could compete with a 9th stage martial path powerhouse. Of course, until now, no one thought that Long Yu could defeat Ling Lai. After all, everyone knew that Ling Lai was strong, and Long Yu's strength had just begun to be displayed. Heaven-suppressing aura! Ling Lai's face turned a little ugly. Under the influence of Long Yu's heaven-suppressing aura, even his movements were hindered. He could only use the heaven-suppressing realm to offset part of the suppression, but he couldn't be completely unaffected. Noble Tai Bai Chi! A white light swept out from his body, condensing into a few white waves that surged towards Long Yu. It looked as if it was about to wrap around Long Yu. At this moment, Long Yu used Wind Flash Step and took a step forward, directly leaping behind Ling Lai. Demon-subduing Vajra seal. Long Yu condensed a golden palm print and slapped it towards Ling Lai's back. Swish! Swish! The white wave of noble Tai Bai Chi was like a poisonous snake, circling behind Ling Lai and clashing with Long Yu's demon-subduing Vajra seal. Boom! 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 Palm after palm, Long Yu's body flashed with a faint golden light, continuously forcing Ling Lai to retreat. Even the supreme martial technique, Noble Tai Bai Chi, was unable to stop Long Yu's advance. Ling Lai gave it his all, using the strength of close to 300 horses. However, Long Yu, who was only at the 8th stage of the martial path, was not inferior to him in terms of basic strength. This made Ling Lai puzzled. Under the suppression of the heaven-suppressing charm, Long Yu became more and more courageous, while Ling Lai's aura was continuously weakened. In the end, after more than 10 demons subduing Vajra seals, Ling Lai finally could not hold on any longer. With a loud bang, a faint golden light flashed. Ling Lai was sent flying by Long Yu's palm, spitting out a mouthful of fresh blood. He crashed into the walls of the Feng family's courtyard and landed heavily on the streets of Jade Gate City, attracting the attention of many passers-by. Wasn't today the day of the Feng family's change of family head? Why would someone spit out blood and fly out of the Feng family's mansion, looking like he was heavily injured? At this moment, not only were the many guests here to congratulate Feng Yun, but even the commoners in Jade Gate City stopped in their tracks and pointed at the Feng family. I've said it before, since you're Ling Han's brother, I'll spare your life. What are you waiting for? Long Yu walked step by step towards Ling Lai and said with disdain. Ling Lai climbed up with difficulty and looked at Long Yu with a vicious gaze. You dare to injure me, you're dead. As soon as he said that, Ling Lai took out a 5-colored bracelet and threw it at Long Yu. Is that a battle weapon? Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. The 5-colored bracelet flew out of Ling Lai's arms and grew bigger in an instant. In an instant, it wrapped around Long Yu's body and started to shrink. Not only that, but Long Yu also felt that the Xian Qi in his body was sealed by the power of the 5-colored bracelet. He couldn't even use a single strand of Xian Qi. You're dead. Ling Lai wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. With a vicious gaze, he stood up and walked towards Long Yu. This battle weapon is pretty good. However, it's a pity that you think you can trap me with this toy. Long Yu shouted, and immediately used his Xian Qi to activate his Dantian and 5 viscera. His energy center, which had been tempered by Xian Qi, started to beat along with his heart. Waves of Xian Qi were sent to his entire body. What else can you do now that you're trapped by the spirit fixation bracelet? Ling Lai let out a cold laugh as he arrived in front of Long Yu. He raised his hand and released a wave of white grand spirit, which revolved around his palm. So what if it's a body-tempering technique of the perfection realm? I want to see how much you can take a beating. As soon as he said that, the noble Tai Bai Qi in his palm turned into sharp spikes and pierced towards Long Yu's body. However, at this moment, Long Yu's Xian Qi exploded from his energy center. The Xian Qi that had been sealed could be used again. He could finally use the spirit flash and turn into a spirit. His entire body turned illusory, just like a ghost. Then, he retreated quickly and left the 5-colored circle of the spirit fixation bracelet, escaping the seal. Spirit flash? You piece of trash. You're really unexpected. When Ling Lai saw that Long Yushan had turned into a ghost, his expression was extremely interesting. This fellow actually cultivated the ghost flash that no one else had cultivated. He actually relied on the ghost flash to escape the seal of the spirit fixation bracelet. Demon subduing Vajra shield. Long Yu's body shone with a faint golden light. The next moment, he blocked all of Ling Lai's noble Tai Bai Qi. Then, he released the heaven-suppressing charm again and took a step forward. Demon subduing Vajra seal. Another golden palm appeared, but this time, Long Yu wore the Wandering Soul Glove. The Wandering Soul Glove could increase the strength of his right hand. Naturally, it could also increase the power of the demon subduing Vajra seal. Ling Lai was already injured. Now that he faced Long Yu's attack, there was no way he could block it. Bang! 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 One palm after another, Ling Lai retreated continuously. Finally, he was knocked down by Long Yu once again. This time, Long Yu didn't show any mercy. He walked forward and stepped on Ling Lai's arm. The sound of bones breaking could be heard, followed by Ling Lai's blood-curdling screams. I'll cripple your arm. Why aren't you scramming? Long Yu raised his leg and kicked Ling Lai a few feet away. There was obviously no enmity between him and this Ling Lai, yet this Ling Lai kept trying to kill him. The fact that Long Yu had spared his life was really giving face to Ling Han. Seeing this scene, the guests in the Feng family were shocked. They never thought that Long Yu could be so strong that he could kick Ling Lai, who was at the 9th rank of the martial path, until he was rolling on the ground. As an 8th rank martial path martial artist, he defeated a 9th rank martial path martial artist. Just this alone was enough for Long Yu to be proud. Seeing this scene, the wind and clouds in the Feng family's hall could no longer tolerate it. Trash, prepare to die. Wind and clouds, dressed in white, stepped out of the Feng family's hall. They actually used the skies and near at hand and rushed towards Long Yu. The distance of tens of feet was covered in the blink of an eye. He actually cultivated a second transcendent martial technique. It seems like wind and cloud sky wave crossing has been cultivated to completion. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. How scary was a transcendent martial technique at completion? Chapter 58. Seeing Feng Yun make his move, everyone, including the passers-by on the street, felt that Long Yu was dead for sure. One had to know that Feng Yun was the current head of the Feng family. Amongst the core disciples of the sky-suppressing sect, he was ranked in the top 10. A mere Long Yu had to spend so much effort to defeat Ling Lai. Facing Feng Yun, he would definitely be defeated. His strength seems to have improved, but he's too stupid. Inside the Feng family, Feng Yao's expression became a little better. She was starting to admire Long Yu. To be able to defeat Ling Lai meant that Long Yu's strength was not any weaker than hers. However, he was too stupid to cause trouble in the Feng family. Feng Yun was here. How could she let him go so easily? Yao don't worry about that trash. Lu Yu said indifferently, now that your father has lost his position as the patriarch, he no longer has any status in the Feng family. Why don't you follow me back to the Lu family in the Imperial City? That way, you'll be able to get more training resources. Hearing that they were going back to the Lu family in the Imperial City, Feng Yao's expression changed. That place, outside the Feng family's mansion, on the streets of the Jade Pass City. Feng Yun performed his supreme martial skill, World's End near at hand, and instantly appeared behind Long Yu. He held a long sword in his hand and swept out a sword chi. It's the Gentian clan's high-rank sword skill, Swift Wind Sword. Many people cried out in alarm. Not only was it a high-rank sword skill of the Gentian clan, the long sword in Feng Yun's hand was also a mid-rank combat weapon given to the top 10 core disciples by the Gentian clan. Everyone was waiting to see how powerful a mid-rank combat weapon could be when used together with a high-rank sword skill, Swift Wind Sword. Swift Wind Sword. Long Yu turned around and was a little surprised. He didn't expect to see this sword skill again. When he had just joined the heaven-suppressing sect and fought against Han Jian had used the great success stage of the Swift Wind Sword incantation, condensing a gale tornado to attack him, but it was broken by him. At this moment, Feng Yun's Swift Gale Sword art was many times stronger than Han Jian's. Feng Yun had not only cultivated the Sword of Swift Gale to completion, he was also wielding a mid-ranked combat weapon. With the combination of the two, even though Long Yu had cultivated the demon-subduing tyrant body, he did not dare to underestimate Feng Yun. With a wave of the Sword of Wind and Cloud, dozens of tornadoes instantly rolled out and surged towards Long Yu. Then, Feng Yun's body was surrounded by strong winds. He moved as fast as the wind and in the blink of an eye, he appeared in another direction and stabbed at Long Yu over 10 times. Demon-subduing Vajra Barrier. Long Yu activated his chi and condensed a layer of faint golden light on the surface of his body. Then, he rushed toward the place with the least tornadoes. The faint golden light burst into specks of golden light under the assault of the tornadoes. However, the tornadoes were unable to break through the demon-vanquishing Vajra shield and hurt Long Yu in the slightest. Although the swift gale sword art was a high-ranked sword skill, Long Yu's demon-vanquishing tyrant body was also a high-ranked body-tempering martial skill. He had nothing to fear in a head-on clash with Feng Yun. In the next moment, Long Yu had already arrived in front of Feng Yun while braving the tornadoes. Demon-vanquishing Vajraseal. Long Yu waved his hand. A faint golden light flashed on his palm as he slammed it down on Feng Yun's face. "This method of yours can only be used against others," Feng Yun sneered. He slightly shifted his feet and used the supreme movement martial skill, World's End near at hand. In the blink of an eye, he took a few steps back and dodged Long Yu's golden palm. The two clashed in an instant, but there was no clear winner. This scene was witnessed by the crowd and many of them were shocked. Long Yu's strength seemed to be quite good to be able to withstand Feng Yun's high-ranked sword skill. It seemed to be the effect of that body-tempering martial skill. Long Yu could be proud that he was able to fight Feng Yun to a standstill with the strength of an 8th-stage martial path cultivator. It's a pity that Feng Yun is just toying with him. That's right. 2 days ago, when Feng Yun fought Feng Chang'e and Feng Yao, he used his true strength. What do you know? This Long Yu isn't worthy of Feng Yun using his true strength. The crowd discussed among themselves. They didn't even think about who would win in the end. In their eyes, it was impossible for Feng Yun to lose. On the street, Feng Yun retreated and dodged Long Yu's demon-vanquishing Vajraseal. He smiled disdainfully. "Trash, your speed is like an ant. You have no chance of winning against me." "If my speed is like an ant, then what about you?" Long Yu said coldly. He then used the Lesser Mastery Spirit Flash and the Blizzard Boots. Compared to Wind and Clouds near Heaven's End, which was at the Lesser Mastery realm, Ghost Flash was slightly slower. However, with the acceleration effect of the Blizzard War Boots, Long Yu's speed wasn't any slower than Wind and Cloud. Demon-vanquishing Vajraseal. Long Yu's palm glowed with a faint golden light. Stepping on the Blizzard Boots, he attacked Feng Yun like lightning. World's End near at hand. Feng Yun activated his Wind Cloud body technique once again. In an instant, he appeared behind Long Yu. However, Long Yu seemed to be prepared. He turned around and struck out with his palm. At the same time, the Blizzard Boots emitted a wave of ice and snow towards Feng Yun behind him. The boots resonated, allowing Long Yu to use the Blizzard Boots to obstruct his opponent with ice and snow. Even with Feng Yun's Greater Mastery World's End near at hand, he couldn't dodge in time. He could only wave his hand. World's End Barrier. A translucent barrier suddenly appeared around Feng Yun. Long Yu looked at Feng Yun through the barrier. It was as if they were separated by a few miles. A translucent barrier suddenly appeared around Feng Yun. When Long Yu looked at Feng Yun through the barrier, it was as if they were separated by a few miles. He actually condensed the World's End barrier. This Feng Yun has actually cultivated the World's End near at hand to completion. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He knew that Feng Yun had been concealing his strength. Completion of the World's End barrier, completion of the Gale Sword skill, completion of the Sky Wave traversal. Feng Yun was indeed one of the top 10 core disciples of the Zhentian clan. His comprehension of martial skills far surpassed most martial cultivators. He was not even 30 years old, but he had already comprehended 2 transcendent martial skills to the completion realm. Long Yu struck out with his palm. The Blizzard Boots' ice and snow attack quickly came into contact with the World's End barrier. Instantly, the golden light dissipated and the ice and snow disappeared. In front of the World's End barrier, Long Yu's attack was completely useless. Did you see that? Just based on a transcendent grade martial technique like World's End near at hand, I'm already in an invincible position. Feng Yun's eyes were filled with disdain. With a wave of his hand, he removed the World's End barrier and raised his hand. Sky Wave Traversal. Another transcendent rank martial skill that he had cultivated to perfection was displayed by him in an instant. A white wave of profound qi surrounded Feng Yun, and then like a white snake, it shot towards Long Yu. This is the move that pierced through my right leg, and made me lie on the bamboo bed for half a month. I even used one of old Bai's supreme-grade elixirs. Seeing this, Long Yu's thoughts returned to that night. Feng Yun had relied on his cultivation at the 8th stage of the martial path to attack him. Thinking of this, a cold light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. "I'd like to see if you can penetrate my right leg with this move again." A faint golden light appeared on Long Yu's right leg as he used the demon-vanquishing Vajra barrier. Then, he leaped up and swept towards the white Xian Qi wave. Boom! Long Yu kicked the sky wave traversal Xian Qi wave, and the white Xian Qi wave dissipated. However, his right leg was unharmed. When the demon-vanquishing tyrant body was cultivated to the completion realm, Long Yu's body was like steel, and he was not afraid of the same level of strength. Unfortunately, his kick was unable to break the transcendent grade martial skill, Heavenly Wave Crossing. Although the white Xian Qi wave was dissipated by his kick, the next moment, the white Xian Qi wave easily reformed and continued to shoot towards Long Yu. "What's the use of a body-tempering martial skill?" Feng Yun sneered. "You can only be beaten. Your defense will be broken sooner or later." As soon as he finished speaking, the profound qi ripples that he was controlling suddenly split into several, and they surrounded Long Yu from different directions. "This arrogant trash is going to lose." Inside the Feng residence, the Tan family's patriarch watched the battle between the two people on the street. "Humph, this kid dares to bully our Yu, and now he's causing trouble in the Feng residence. He's just courting death." Beside the Tan family's patriarch, a middle-aged man in black said with hatred in his eyes. This middle-aged man in black was Tan Yu and Tan Jian's father. His name was Tan Heng, and he was the current patriarch of the Tan family. His cultivation was at the 8th level of the martial path. I originally wanted to take action myself, but since Feng Yun is doing it for me, that kid is lucky. The Tan family's patriarch snorted. If the patriarch takes action, that kid won't be able to last a single move. There won't be a good show to watch. Tan Heng smiled proudly. Because the Tan family's patriarch was present, the Tan family occupied most of the resources in Jade Pass City. Their disciples also received the most cultivation resources. He, Tan Heng, had a powerful father. That was why he could live a very stable and glorious life in this lifetime. Not far away, on the street, Long Yu immediately reacted to the white Xian Qi wave formed by Feng Yun's sky wave. Heaven-suppressing charm. With a thought, Long Yu's entire body emitted a powerful suppressive aura, instantly enveloping the wind and clouds. As soon as the heaven-suppressing charm appeared, the white Xian Qi wave instantly slowed down. Then, Long Yu used the demon-subduing Vajra seal, and slapped out palm after palm. Boom, boom, boom. One after another, the white profound energy ripples were all shattered by Long Yu. Under the suppression of the heaven-suppressing charm, even a perfect transcendent grade martial technique could not display much power and was easily broken by Long Yu. "I didn't expect you to be able to comprehend the heaven-suppressing charm at such a young age. It's not easy." Feng Yun snorted coldly and stood on the spot. He circulated his Xian Qi and his white robe and long hair fluttered in the wind. Then, a violent aura descended from the sky and clashed with Long Yu's heaven-suppressing charm. "It's a pity that I have also comprehended the heaven-suppressing charm. You're too naive to think you can deal with me with that." Feng Yun's white robe danced in the wind and he looked carefree. With a wave of his hand, the white Xian Qi wave condensed again. As a transcendent grade martial technique, the sky wave traversal's biggest feature was that it consumed very little Xian Qi. Even if it was broken by someone, he could continuously use it to fight with his opponent and eventually exhaust them to death. "This Feng Yun has also comprehended the heaven-suppressing charm." Long Yu frowned. It seemed that this time, He really had to use the 9 Underworld Dragon Seals martial technique. 9 Underworld Dragon Fist, let me see how powerful you are. Chapter 59. When Feng Yun unleashed his heaven-suppressing charm to contend against Long Yu knew that if he didn't use the 9 Abyss Dragon Fist, he would not be able to defeat Feng Yun. Although Feng Yun was also in the 9th stage of the martial path like Ling Lai, his strength was much stronger. He could use 2 supreme-rank martial skills that were cultivated to perfection, attacking and defending at the same time. It was extremely difficult to deal with him. "You're dead meat." As soon as Feng Yun's cold voice fell, waves of white qi surged towards Long Yu. Feng Yun's white robe fluttered in the wind, making him look extremely elegant. His display of the heaven wave traversal drew endless praises from the crowd. Tan Yu, who was wearing a red dress, had a strange glow in her eyes as she thought about how to hook up with Feng Yun. At least from Feng Yun's behavior, he didn't seem to reject her. If she could get close to someone as strong as Feng Yun, "Brother Feng Yun, you must kill him." Ling Lai, who had one of his arms crippled by Long Yu, struggled to stand up and looked at the scene from afar. His eyes flashed with hatred. Ling Lai had never suffered such humiliation in his life. This kid named Long Yu must die. In the hall of the Feng family, Feng Yao looked at the situation on the street coldly. She had no intention of taking action. She had wanted Long Yu to die for a long time. Now, her wish was finally fulfilled. Moreover, dying at the hands of Feng Yun was an honor for him. After all, with Feng Yun's talent, his future achievements would not be as simple as this. "Yao it seems like this useless kid is finally going to die." Lu Yu sat beside Feng Yao and said sarcastically, "He wants to marry our Yao with this kind of trash? Wishful thinking." Feng Yao smiled faintly. In fact, if it wasn't for Feng Chang'e trying to matchmake her and Long Yu, she wouldn't have wanted to kill Long Yu. However, it was all too late now. No matter how much Feng Chang'e wanted to protect Long Yu would definitely die at the hands of Feng Yun. This kid is dead meat. The patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Duan, looked at the scene on the street and smiled faintly. He shifted his gaze, seemingly inadvertently glancing in the direction of the Tan clan and the Luo clan. He actually met the gaze of the Tan clan's patriarch and the Luo clan's patriarch. The 3 of them looked at each other and smiled. They nodded to themselves and then looked away. It was obvious that when these 3 clans came to congratulate the Feng clan, they already had a plan in mind. Without a doubt, they wanted to target the Feng clan. Now, as long as Long Yu died, it might be time for them to work together. Unfortunately, the people of the Feng clan knew nothing about this. All the direct descendants and collateral descendants of the Feng clan were excitedly looking at the street. Their new patriarch, Feng Yun, was about to defeat Long Yu and once again establish the prestige of the patriarch. This was especially so for Feng Luo, whose leg had been crippled by Long Yu, and Feng Yang, who had lost to Long Yu at the entrance of the martial arts pavilion. The 2 of them were the most emotional at the moment. "You crippled my right leg at the martial arts pavilion. Now my brother, Patriarch Feng Yun, is going to kill you easily." Feng Luo gritted his teeth as he thought. It was as if he could already see the scene of Long Yu being entangled by Feng Yun's white xianqi ripples and then being killed. However, the next moment, the scene on the street was beyond everyone's expectations. Sky wave traversal, a supreme-grade martial arts technique, trained to the perfect realm, is indeed very strong. Long Yu stood calmly on the spot. His black robe fluttered in the wind. His eyes flashed as he thought to himself, however, the 9 Abyss Dragon Fist is a supreme-grade martial arts technique. Although it has only been trained to the perfect realm, it should not be a problem to fight against the Sky Wave Traversal. The entire Zhentian clan did not have a single supreme-grade martial arts technique. Only the Tang Empire's royal family would have 1 or 2 supreme-grade martial arts technique. From this, it could be seen how precious supreme-grade martial arts techniques were. A normal martial cultivator might not even see one once in their lifetime. However, now, Long Yu had already trained the supreme-grade martial arts technique, the first technique of the 9 Abyss Dragon Fist, Drunken Underworld, to the perfect realm. 9 Abyss Dragon Fist, Drunken Underworld. When trained to the perfect realm, one punch can simulate the road to the underworld, using the netherworld 9 underworld chi to shock people. Facing Feng Yun's white Xian chi ripples, Long Yu's body suddenly moved, leaving an afterimage where he stood. Wind step, afterimage. Ghost flash. His body turned into a ghost and wandered the world. In the blink of an eye, it allowed Long Yu to avoid the white Xian chi ripples. Watch my punch, Drunken Underworld. The wandering soul glove on Long Yu's hand emitted a deep and strange light. Following that, a wave of netherworld chi spread from his right fist. This is the power? Feng Yun felt the netherworld chi from Long Yu, and his expression immediately changed. He immediately recognized it. It was this power that caused him to rest and recuperate for 2 months after being hit by Long Yu. Until now, Feng Yun still did not know what this power was. However, at this moment, he knew that he could not fight Long Yu head-on. This power was too eerie and strange. However, just as he was thinking about this, the netherworld chi suddenly became extremely strong. It suddenly came crashing down, shocking his entire body. His brain stopped working. Drunken Underworld, one punch could simulate the road to the underworld. As Long Yu punched out, the netherworld chi immediately paved a road to the underworld in front of him. In an instant, it enveloped Feng Yun and shocked his mind, causing him to stop thinking at this moment. 9 Abyss Dragon Fist, break for me! Long Yu strode forward, fully activated the blizzard boot. His body turned into a light breeze, and in an instant, he followed the road to the underworld and approached Feng Yun. The heavy punch, which was condensed with the netherworld chi, immediately smashed into Feng Yun's chest. A terrifying airflow erupted, and Feng Yun's entire body was sent flying. Awe-inspiring and strange. Although the Yellow Springs path that Long Yu had created was very faint, to the point that ordinary people would not be able to see it, the netherworld chi that it emitted caused everyone in the surroundings to tremble with fear. What kind of power was this? It could actually send Feng Yun flying with one punch. Bang! Under everyone's incredulous gaze, Feng Yun fell heavily to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. As for his face, it was slightly black. It was obvious that there was a strange power wreaking havoc in his body, causing him to almost completely lose the ability to fight. 9 Abyss Dragon Fist, a supreme-grade martial technique. It is indeed extraordinary. Long Yu thought to himself. He lifted his head and quickly walked over to Feng Yun, who was lying on the ground. He looked at Feng Yun and saw a complicated expression on Feng Yun's handsome face. There was shock, doubt, disbelief, but most of all, unwillingness. Yes, he was unwilling. He was a 9th-rank cultivator of the martial path, and he had been called a genius since he was young. Even in a sect like the Sky-Suppressing sect, he could enter the top 10 of the core disciples. His martial path should have been a smooth journey, and he should have broken through to the 9th stage martial path, condensed his true spirit, and transcended this world. How could he fall at this moment? Feng Yun, you said that you wanted to kill me, but now you've been knocked down and seriously injured. Long Yu looked down at Feng Yun. You said that I'm trash, but now, tell me, who's the real trash? Am I trash? Feng Yun asked himself. No, it's definitely not like that. This Long Yu is trying to attack my heart of martial arts. Maybe you don't want to admit it, but you're a 9th stage martial path expert, one of the top 10 core disciples of the Zhentian clan, yet you were defeated by an 8th stage martial path cultivator. If you're not trash, then what are you? Long Yu took a step forward and his tone became even sharper. These words were deeply engraved in Feng Yun's mind. Not long ago, he, Feng Yun, had stepped into the top 10 core disciples of the Jintian clan with his 8th stage martial path cultivation. Now that he had reached the 9th stage martial path, he should be able to reach the next level. Who would have thought that he would be defeated by a trash in the Feng clan? And on the day he became the patriarch of the Feng clan. Am I really trash? After Feng Yun's confidence was defeated, it was easily destroyed by a few words from Long Yu. Once he lost his confidence, he would no longer be able to advance on the martial path. There was no need for Long Yu to waste any more words or make a move. At this moment, Feng Yun's meridians were being corroded by the 9 nether aura. It was more than 10 times worse than when he was sent flying by the 9 nether dragon seal. It was almost impossible for him to fully recover. From today onwards, he, Feng Yun, was already a cripple. When Long Yu defeated Feng Yun with a single punch and walked in front of Feng Yun to question him, many of the Feng clan's disciples, guests, and passers-by were all shocked. No one could say a word. Feng Yun, who had just become the patriarch of the Feng clan, was actually defeated by a trash of the Feng clan. Was this true or not? Am I dreaming? Or am I seeing things? Soon, everyone realized that Feng Yun was defeated by Long Yu with a single punch and was seriously injured. This was an undeniable fact. Where's my foster father? Long Yu coldly asked Feng Yun. This was the first question Long Yu asked when he returned to the Feng clan. However, everyone mocked and ridiculed him and ignored his question. But now, when he asked this question again, everyone couldn't help but take it seriously. Long Yu, an expert who could defeat Feng Yun, returned to the Feng clan for his foster father, the former patriarch of the Feng clan, Feng Chang'e. Yu. At this moment, a voice that Long Yu was extremely familiar with came from the Feng clan's residence. He looked over and finally saw Feng Chang'e walking out from the backyard. He stood at the door and looked at him in disbelief. A servant informed Feng Chang'e that Long Yu had returned and was fighting with Ling Lai. Feng Chang'e ran out anxiously. One must know that Ling Lai was a 9th stage martial path expert and ranked 33rd among the core disciples of the Jintian clan. Long Yu had only stepped into the martial path for 3 months. How could he be Ling Lai's opponent? But when Feng Chang'e came to the door, he saw this scene. Chapter 60. Long Yu glanced at Feng Chang'e. Apart from the shock on the latter's face, there was also a hint of exhaustion on his face. I'm really injured. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He immediately ran toward Feng Chang'e. Godfather, are you all right? Long Yu asked worriedly. It's nothing serious. It's just an old ailment. Feng Chang'e recovered from the shock and smiled. I didn't expect you to reach the 8th layer of the martial path in just 3 months. You even defeated Ling Lai and Feng Yun, who were in the 9th layer of the martial path. It's all thanks to the pills that you prepared for me. Long Yu said respectfully. In fact, if it weren't for the pills that Feng Chang'e prepared for him, he wouldn't have been able to join the Jintian clan. Even if he did join, it would have been difficult for him. How could he have achieved his current cultivation? If he had been half a month late, he wouldn't have been qualified to go to the ancient ginseng forest, let alone obtain the ancient ginseng there. The 2 pills that Feng Chang'e had prepared for him had been the foundation of his fortuitous encounters along the way. On the path of martial Tao, you won't be able to achieve anything by relying on external help. You've only achieved your current strength by relying on yourself. Feng Chang'e smiled and patted Long Yu's shoulder. His expression gradually turned solemn. However, you mustn't become complacent because of this. The 9th layer of the martial path is only the starting point. There are many experts in this world. With your talent, your future will be even bigger. Even if you reach the 9th layer of the martial path, you'll still be looking at the sky from the bottom of a well. Godfather, do you know about the true spirit? Long Yu pondered for a moment and asked. He recalled the scene when Elder Yu unleashed his true spirit and fought against the 3 experts from the Thousand Thread sect. Above the 9th layer of the martial path was the condensation of the true spirit. Every core disciple of a sect knew about this. Although Feng Chang'e was only in the 8th layer of the martial path, he seemed to be very knowledgeable. Of course, Feng Chang'e smiled. The 9th layer of the martial path is actually known as the body-tempering realm. Above the body-tempering realm, one can condense the true spirit realm. Body-tempering secret realm, true spirit secret realm. These two words were completely foreign to Long Yu. However, it had ignited the competitive spirit within his body. The 9th stage of martial Tao was just the foundation, it belonged to the body-tempering realm. After the body-tempering mystical realm was the true spirit mystical realm. Only then could one be considered to have stepped into the true path of martial arts. At this moment, Long Yu recalled that Elder Yu once said that if a martial arts expert reached the legendary realm, they would be able to become one with the heavens and fly in the air. Then, what kind of state would it be? As a true spirit realm expert, Elder Yu actually said that he would never be able to step into that realm in this lifetime. Then, what kind of destructive power would an expert in the unity of heaven and man realm possess? All of this made Long Yu deeply yearn for it. With the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, he would do his best to climb towards the peak of the martial Tao. And you, consort you. One day, I will find you and find out who you are. Long Yu's conviction was incomparably firm. All right, little Yu, now is not the time for idle chatter. Feng Chang'e lifted his head and swept his gaze across the entire mansion as he spoke indifferently. At this moment, everyone in the Feng residence was staring at the two of them with different expressions on their faces. The disciples of the Feng clan were speechless when they saw Feng Yun being defeated. Feng Yun was the new master of the Feng clan, but now that he was defeated by Long Yu, who would be the next master of the Feng clan? Feng Yun? Feng Chang'e? Long Yu? They were absolutely unwilling to let Long Yu be the master of the Feng clan. If that was the case, would the Feng clan still be called the Feng clan? They might as well change their name to the Long clan. Feng Yao's originally cold expression had now become extremely strange. She had never thought that the trash Long Yu of the past would actually become so powerful. Lu Yu, who was standing at the side, was stunned. This trash has become so powerful? Feng Yao heard this and came back to her senses. Her eyes flashed with a trace of complexity. He is no longer the trash he used to be. Unfortunately, he killed Hua Yun and Hua Qing in the ancient ginseng forest. Their big brother, Hua Buxi, will definitely not let him go. Hua Buxi, the #1 core disciple of the Ice sect, had already condensed his true spirit and entered the true spirit secret realm. No matter how strong Long Yu was, he would not be a match for Hua Buxi. Once they met, with Hua Buxi's personality, he would definitely kill him. Among the other members of the Feng clan, Feng Luo and Feng Yang opened their mouths wide, but they could not say a word. Their big brother, Feng Yun, the #10 core disciple of the Jintian clan, had lost to Long Yu, a trash from the past? Feng Yun's father, Feng Changtian, stood up immediately. Son. Feng Changtian ran towards Feng Yun, wanting to check on his injuries. However, at this time, hundreds of people in the Feng clan mansion stood up at the same time. Among them, the Qin clan's patriarch, Qin Duan, wore a black robe and leisurely stood in front of Feng Changtian. Brother Changtian, what are you trying to do in such a hurry? Qin Duan faked a smile and blocked Feng Changtian's path. Your son, Feng Yun, lost to a trash. He is no longer suitable to be the Feng clan's patriarch. If the Feng clan does not have a suitable patriarch, I think it's time for the clan to disband. On the other side, the Tan clan's patriarch's old but spirited voice could be heard. The patriarch of the Tan family stood up and looked around. Finally, he fixed his gaze on Long Yu and said with a faint smile, "This young man's strength is extraordinary. We have no intention of targeting him. You can take your foster father and leave this place. We will not pursue this matter." The rest of the Feng clan can also pledge allegiance to the three great clans. Otherwise, we will chase them out of Jade Gate City. On the Luo clan's side, a middle-aged scholarly man also stood up and smiled with a cunning smile. Qin Duan, the Tan clan's patriarch, and the Luo clan's patriarch. The three of them launched an attack at the same time, causing everyone in the Feng clan mansion to be shocked. What was going on? The three great clans joined forces to suppress the Feng clan? Did they want to destroy the Feng clan? If Feng Yun was still the same as before, the three great clans would not dare to act so openly. At most, they would do something sneaky. But now, Feng Yun was gravely injured by Long Yu, and Long Yu was not on good terms with the Feng clan. Chase them all out of Jade Gate City, how ruthless. Many Feng clan's disciples secretly thought. The three great clans did not dare to slaughter the Feng clan's disciples in front of the entire city, but if they were to chase them out of Jade Gate City, then wouldn't it be up to them to kill or torture them? Even if they chose to join the three great clans, they would still suffer all kinds of suppression. In short, from today onwards, the entire Feng clan of Jade Gate City would no longer exist. For a moment, many of the Feng clan's disciples were in a state of panic. Each of them looked at Long Yu with hatred. They all felt that if Long Yu did not injure Feng Yun, the Feng clan would not have to face such a fate with Feng Yun's protection. My son is already injured. I will take him away and no longer care about the Feng clan. Feng Zhangtian, who was stopped by Qin Duan, immediately said, "Fine, you can go." The black-robed Qin Duan faintly smiled, glanced at Feng Yun to the side, and then stepped aside. Feng Zhangtian did not even look at the many Feng clan's disciples behind him. He stepped forward, picked up Feng Yun, and directly left. This scene left everyone in the Feng clan dumbfounded. Feng Zhangtian, as the father of Feng Yun, was also an expert at the 8th level of the martial path. He could be said to be the pillar of the Feng clan. But now, he actually ran away just like that? However, as Qin Duan watched his departing figure, a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. How could they let the two of them go just like that? One must know that Feng Yun's talent was very strong. Such a potential threat, the three great clans would definitely not let it go so easily. But now, they wanted to cause chaos in the Feng clan, so they temporarily let them go. Long Yu narrowed his eyes, watching everything that happened in the field. He discovered that after Feng Zhangtian left with Feng Yun, there were several black-robed men secretly following them. Each of them was at least an expert at the 8th level of the martial path. This was obviously to prevent Feng Zhangtian and Feng Yun from escaping. They will not let Feng Yun go, and for the same reason, they will not let me go, Long Yu thought to himself. Looking at the murderous intent in the eyes of the Tan clan's ancestor and Qin Duan, he naturally understood this point. However, he had seriously injured Feng Yun and looked too strong. The three great clans were planning to eradicate the Feng clan first, then slowly deal with him. Xiao Yu, take Xiao Yao and my wife and leave this place first. Feng Changa's expression was solemn as he instructed Long Yu. The patriarchs of the three great clans, the Tan clan's ancestor, had long reached the 9th level of the martial path. Even if his strength was not as strong as Feng Yun, it was not by much. As for the Qin clan's patriarch, Qin Duan, he had recently stepped into the 9th level of the martial path. As for the Luo clan's patriarch, the middle-aged man, he was also in the 9th level of the martial path. However, he had always kept a low profile and rarely interacted with others. But now, he finally stood up and wanted to eliminate the Feng clan. Even Long Yu would not be able to withstand the joint attack of three experts in the 9th level of the martial path. It was better to let him leave with his people and ensure the safety of his family. Feng Changa's words made Feng Yao and Lu Yu's faces change. Let Long Yu leave with them? Did that mean that Feng Changa was prepared to stay in the Feng clan and face the three great clans? Yaoer, let's go. Lu Yu gritted her teeth and pulled Feng Yao towards Long Yu's location. Although she was from the royal city's Lu clan, she had long married into the Feng clan. If it wasn't for Long Yu, they would never be able to escape from the three great clans. Feng Yao looked a little unwilling, but she still followed Long Yu's side. Long Yu shook his head inwardly when he saw this. This mother-daughter pair was truly heartless. They only cared about their own lives and didn't even spare a thought for Feng Chang'e. If you want to leave, leave on your own. Long Yu shook his head. How could he leave Feng Chang'e behind at a time like this? The Feng clan was Feng Chang'e's root. It was also the place where Long Yu grew up. It was definitely not Long Yu's style to watch the Feng clan being eradicated by the three great clans. So what if they had three experts in the 9th level of the martial path? Chapter 61. When Long Yu stood up and said such a sentence, the entire audience was shocked by him once again. Feng Chang'e was stunned for a moment before he snapped, "Xiao Yu, I stayed because my surname is Feng. But you, did you forget how the people of the Feng clan treated you? Hurry up and leave with Xiao Yao." Long Yu smiled faintly. "Godfather, you're the only family I have in this life. How could I let you stay behind and fight alone?" This, Feng Chang'e didn't know what to say for a moment. His eyes were filled with worry, anxiety, and gratitude. He was excited that Long Yu was willing to stay behind and fight with him. However, what could a mere Long Yu do against the alliance of the three great clans? "Ha ha, Feng Chang'e, your father-son relationship is really touching." Qin Duan laughed loudly and looked at Long Yu with murderous eyes. "This kid killed my son, Tian Quebec. I've wanted to kill him for a long time. Since he didn't cherish the opportunity to leave and insisted on staying, why not let us see how powerful he is? Who knows, he might be able to fight against the three great clans by himself, ha ha ha." The last sentence was said in a mocking tone, causing the hundreds of people from the three great clans to burst into laughter. The three great clans had a total of more than 100 people present. Among them, the three great clan masters were all at the 9th level of the martial path. Did a mere Long Yu think he could defeat them? In his dreams, everyone felt that Long Yu was digging his own grave by staying behind, including the disciples of the Feng clan. "I don't care what you think. I will stand here today." Long Yu looked around and took in everyone's expressions. He then said in a firm tone, "I, Long Yu, grew up in the Feng clan. Even though Godfather was the only one who treated me well, Godfather's clan is my clan. Today, I will not stand by and watch the Feng clan perish. Members of the Feng clan, if you believe me and want to fight with me and Godfather, then stay. If you don't believe me, then leave the Feng clan right now. The further the better. In the future, you will have nothing to do with the Feng clan." When Long Yu's words came out, all the disciples of the Feng clan were stunned. Long Yu, the powerful cultivator who defeated Feng Yun, was willing to stay and die with the Feng clan? In fact, everyone in the Feng clan knew that when Long Yu was still a cripple, the people of the Feng clan harshly made things difficult for him. But now, when the Feng clan was about to perish, it was Long Yu who stood firmly in front of them. "I'm leaving." Among the Feng disciples, the sturdy Feng Yang coldly snorted and then stood up. "Long Yu, the wandering soul's glove on your hand belongs to my sister Feng Qianqian. Now, she has lost her life in ancient ginseng forest, yet you are wearing her glove to show off your power. Now, you are tempting the disciples of the Feng clan to die with you. Dream on." Long Yu calmly looked at Feng Yang and said, "As everyone knows, Feng Qianqian died in the hands of Yu Qianing of the Thousand Thread sect. Instead of finding trouble with Yu Qianing, you are deliberately making things difficult for me. I want to ask you, do you really want the entire Feng clan of Jade Gate City to be erased from today onwards?" Hearing this, Feng Yang held his breath. He wanted him to find trouble with Yu Qianing of the Thousand Thread sect? Even if he was beaten to death, he would not dare to go. Feng Yang coldly snorted and did not say anything else. He turned around and left. No matter what, he would not stay. "Brother Yang, wait for me." Feng Yun's brother, Feng Luo, hurriedly chased after Feng Yang and wanted to leave with him. Feng Luo was thinking that after leaving, he would be able to find his father, Feng Changtian and Feng Yun. With his father around, he would still be able to live a good life. The departure of the two caused many people to become restless. Since you guys are not leaving, I will leave with Yao. Lu Yu coldly sneered and pulled her daughter Feng Yao's hand, turning around and leaving. Feng Yao did not speak, did not stop, and did not look back. However, when they reached the entrance of the Feng residence, Lu Yu could not help but turn around and look at Feng Chang'e. You are really not leaving? Lu Yu asked. I am not leaving. Feng Chang'e replied without hesitation. Forget it if you are not leaving. Lu Yu angrily turned around and pulled Feng Yao away. Feng Chang'e looked at the backs of the two leaving. His face was a little depressed, but it quickly turned into determination. No matter what, he, Feng Chang'e, would not abandon the Feng clan like Feng Changtian. I am leaving. Today, the Feng clan will not be able to escape. Staying is just courting death. I am leaving too. Only a fool would stay and fight to the death with the three major families. I do not want to leave. I have decided to join the Qin clan. With my talent, I will definitely be able to obtain good training resources in the Qin clan. There were more than 400 people in the Feng clan, and they quickly made their decisions. Among them, there were more than 100 who decided to leave, and more than 100 who decided to join the three major families. In the end, there were less than 40 people standing behind Long Yu and Feng Chang'e. However, these 40 people were the young disciples of the Feng clan, full of vigor and vitality. Their martial cultivation was not bad as well. It was because of these youths that their hearts were filled with hot blood, moved by Long Yu and Feng Chang'e, and decided to stay and die with the Feng clan. To think that only the 42 of you would stay. Feng Chang'e sighed. Clan head, you have always treated us well. How could we abandon you when the Feng clan is in danger? That's right, clan head. The other direct descendants of the Feng clan treated us like servants. Only you, clan head, often came to teach us cultivation and martial techniques. Even if I die, I, Feng Xiaofei, will die with clan head. I, Feng Haofeng, used to be a servant of the Feng clan. It was clan head who discovered my talent and bestowed me the surname Feng, making me a branch disciple. This junior will never forget your kindness. The 42 people who stayed were all emotional. Their words made the disciples of the Feng clan who chose to leave unable to lift their heads. Good, good, today we will fight to our heart's content. Tears rolled down the corners of Feng Chang'e's eyes. He had not expected so many people to stand firmly behind him at a time like this. Well done. Long Yu praised in his heart. He raised his head and looked at the disciples of the Feng clan who had walked behind the three major families. A cold glint flashed across his eyes. These people, Long Yu will definitely make them regret it. Let's fight. Long Yu took a heavy step forward. Godfather, you stay here and watch over them. I will go meet them first. Xiao Yu. Feng Chang'e was shocked when he heard that. Just as he was about to stop Long Yu, he saw Long Yu's figure flash, and he had already left. Qin clan head, Qin Duan. Long Yu turned into a gentle breeze, and appeared in front of Qin Duan in an instant. He shouted, You said that I killed your son, Qin Tianke, but you didn't know that it was your son who was shameless and despicable, and wanted to kill me. Who can you blame for Qin Tiank's death? Following this shout, a pale golden light flashed on Long Yu's hand. The demon-subduing Vajra seal was unleashed. Qin Duan did not expect Long Yu to attack so quickly. In a hurry, Qin Duan waved his hand and circulated the Xian Qi in his body. The Qin clan's inherited martial skill, the green wind movement technique, formed a green wind screen in an attempt to block Long Yu's attack. Heaven's suppressing charm. Long Yu released a burst of suppressive energy that instantly descended upon Qin Duan's body, firmly suppressing him to the ground. Even the green wind screen had become much weaker than it had been before. Kaboom! The pale golden palm slammed down, instantly shattering the defensive barrier formed by the movement technique. Not too long ago, when Long Yu faced Qin Tiang's green wind screen in the soaring snake abyss, he was completely helpless. In the end, he relied on the blink wind step to break through to the peak, and only then did he manage to deceive Qin Tianke and kill him by surprise. But now, Long Yu was facing Qin Tiang's father and casually smashed the green wind screen into pieces. The demon-subduing Vajra seal condensed in Long Yu's hand as he continued to slam his palm downwards. However, as the green wind screen was shattered by him, Qin Duan finally displayed his movement skill and rapidly retreated a few meters back. His face was already covered with cold sweat. Long Yu's strength was too terrifying. Qin Duan alone was definitely not a match for him. Shadow Step. At this time, the Tan clan's elder finally reacted and immediately displayed the Tan clan's martial skill, Shadow Step. In an instant, he arrived beside Long Yu. Sky-shattering palm. The Tan clan's elder's aged face was filled with ruthlessness as he unleashed his sky-shattering palm at the perfection realm. It seemed that he wanted to kill Long Yu in one blow. Demon-subduing Vajra seal. Long Yu turned around and his palm emitted a faint golden light as he met the Tan clan's elder head-on. Boom! When the two of them clashed, they both took a few steps back. Both of them had grave expressions on their faces. This old man has been at the 9th level of the martial path for more than 10 years. His mastery of celestial qi far surpasses Ling Li's. Long Yu squinted his eyes as he thought to himself. Surround Feng Chang'e and the others first. Don't let them escape. The Luo clan's master, Luo Qinghui, had a refined temperament and a cunning look in his eyes. He pointed at Feng Chang'e and ordered, "Wait until the three of us join forces and take down Long Yu. That will be the day of the Feng clan's destruction." As soon as he finished speaking, Luo Qinghui's figure flashed, and he moved to surround Long Yu. The 3 9th-level martial path cultivators surrounded Long Yu in an instant, and in the next moment, they all launched their attacks. Feng Chang'e and the remaining 42 disciples of the Feng clan were surrounded by the 3 great clans. There was no way they could escape. The 3 great clans had sent a total of more than 100 4th-level martial path cultivators and more than 100 traders from the Feng clan. In total, there were more than 200 people surrounding the Feng mansion. Xiao Yu. Feng Chang'e couldn't help but worry for Long Yu when he saw him surrounded. "Godfather, don't worry!" Long Yu shouted. Facing the attacks of 3 9th-level martial path cultivators, a faint golden light appeared on the surface of his body. Demon-subduing Vajra barrier. The Tan clan's elder, Qin Duan, and Luo Qinghui's attacks instantly landed on Long Yu. Chapter 62. Long Yu didn't move, but the 3 patriarchs each took a big step back. How is this possible? The Tan family's ancestor's expression changed. He had used 70% of his strength in the sky-shattering palm, but even so, it didn't break Long Yu's demon-subduing Vajra shield. The reason why he didn't use his full strength was because he wanted to defend against the other 2 patriarchs while dealing with Long Yu. The other 2 patriarchs, Qin Duan and Luo Qinghui, naturally had the same idea as the Tan family's ancestor. Therefore, even if the 3 patriarchs of the 9th stage of the martial path joined hands, they couldn't cause any damage to Long Yu. Continue. Qin Duan's eyes flashed fiercely. He knew that based on the punch that Long Yu had used to defeat Feng Yun, the 3 of them couldn't give Long Yu the slightest chance to breathe. Otherwise, it was hard to say who would win and who would lose. As soon as his voice fell, Qin Duan first displayed the Zhentian clan's upper-rank martial skill, soul-capturing palm. Qin Duan was also a disciple of the Zhentian clan in his early years, but he couldn't break through to the 8th stage of the martial path until he was 30. Therefore, he could only retreat and take charge of the Qin family, aiming to cultivate the next generation of geniuses of the Qin family. Therefore, Qin Duan could also use some of the Zhentian clan's martial skills, but because of the Zhentian clan's rules, he couldn't pass on these martial skills to his descendants. If the descendants of the Qin family wanted to learn the Zhentian clan's martial skills, they could only join the Zhentian clan. Qin Duan had high hopes for Qin Tianke, but he didn't expect that he would be killed by Long Yu not long after becoming an inner disciple. This hatred was absolutely irreconcilable. As soon as the soul-capturing palm was displayed, a claw-emitting black fog suddenly grabbed at Long Yu. The speed was so fast that even Long Yu couldn't dodge it. Great completion realm! Long Yu's heart trembled. He could see that Qin Duan had reached the greater success stage of the soul-capturing palm. With Qin Duan's cultivation at the 9th stage of the martial path, Qin Duan could easily immobilize him. At that moment, the patriarch of the Tan family and Luo Chenghui seized the opportunity and attacked Long Yu from the front and back with a palm and a fist respectively, bringing with them gusts of howling winds. Demon vanquishing tyrant body, Dantian throbbing break. Long Yu gave a loud shout, and his refined Dantian began to beat like a heart, instantly causing the profound qi in his whole body to boil, and actually broke through the shackles of the soul-capturing hand in a flash. With his consummate demon-subduing tyrant body and his soul-capturing palm, which was only at the consummate realm, it was undoubtedly a fool's dream to trap him. However, at this moment, the patriarch of the Tan family and Luo Chenghui's fist and palm were also right in front of him. Ghost transformation, flash. The profound qi in Long Yu's body became restless, and he instantly displayed the transcendent martial skill, Ghost Flash. His entire body slid to the side, and with great difficulty, he managed to avoid the pincer attack of the other two. Keep going. The three family heads did not give Long Yu the slightest chance to catch his breath. They continued to attack from 3 different directions. This can't go on. 1 against 3 is too much of a disadvantage. I have to cripple one of them first. A cold light flashed in Long Yu's eyes, and then the profound qi in his whole body surged, instantly transforming into a trace of netherworld qi, which began to condense in his right fist. The patriarch of the Tan family is the biggest threat. I'll cripple him first. Long Yu turned to face the patriarch of the Tan family, and the netherworld qi suddenly surged out. When he waved his fist, an eerie road to the underworld was simulated. Boom! The patriarch of the Tan family was enveloped by the road to the underworld, and as if he had been struck by lightning, he temporarily lost consciousness. Dragon fist of the underworld, drunk in the underworld, kill! Long Yu's body turned into a light breeze, and he instantly followed the simulated road to the patriarch of the Tan family, who was in a daze, and threw a punch at his Dantian. Bang! The heavy punch carried a strange and deep profound netherworld qi, and it instantly invaded the patriarch of the Tan family's body, causing his face to turn black, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His whole body was sent flying 10 feet away, and he fell heavily to the ground. Die! However, at this time, the other 2 people also attacked from behind Long Yu. Taking advantage of the time when Long Yu crippled the patriarch of the Tan family, Qin Duan used the perfect realm of mysterious windbreak, and Luo Chenghui condensed 3 cold dragon profound qi, and hit Long Yu's back. Puff! Even though Long Yu had cultivated the perfect realm of demon subduing tyrant body, he could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood at this time. Dodge! Without any hesitation, Long Yu activated the blizzard boots with all his strength, and then used the wind flicker step. In the blink of an eye, he flashed not far away, to prevent Qin Duan and Luo Chenghui from continuing to attack. A burst of cold qi seeped into the meridians in Long Yu's body, causing all the meridians in his body to freeze and tremble. The patriarch of the Luo family, Luo Chenghui, actually used the martial skill of the Ice Sect, Cold Dragon Break. It could be seen that he was a disciple of the Ice Sect when he was young. As for Qin Duan's move, the mysterious Wind Break, it slashed several deep wounds on Long Yu's back, causing blood to continuously drip from his back. Long Yu risked his life to cripple the strongest patriarch of the Tan family, but then he also suffered a serious injury. "Grandfather!" A cry of pain came from the crowd. From the Tan family, a girl in a red dress jumped out and quickly came to the side of the Tan family's patriarch, who had fallen to the ground. This girl in the red dress was Tan Yu. At this time, Tan Yu's face was covered with tears. She never thought that today's tragic battle would cause her grandfather to suffer such a heavy injury. At a glance, she only saw that her grandfather's body was covered with a strange black qi, making her grandfather incomparably weak. Even an expert at the 9th level of the martial Tao would become extremely weak after being corroded by the netherworld qi. The Tan family's patriarch's old eyes were cloudy as he looked at Tan Yu's beautiful face. His face still filled with doting love. "Without grandfather in the future, you must learn to grow up." As his voice fell, the Tan family's patriarch's breathing stagnated and his heart suddenly stopped beating. He was already old, unlike Feng Yun, who was young and strong. After being struck by Long Yu's 9 nether dragon fist, the netherworld qi entered his body and wreaked havoc, instantly killing him. Tan Yu was stunned on the spot. Her grandfather had died just like that. She suddenly realized that after losing her grandfather's doting, she had already become nothing in this world. Even her father, Tan Heng, was currently at the 8th level of the martial Tao. Even in Jade Pass City, a cultivation of the 8th level of the martial Tao was nothing. With Tan Heng's cultivation of the 8th level of the martial Tao, it was too difficult to support the Tan family. Tan Yu suddenly felt a little regret. Why did she provoke Long Yu back in the Heaven Suppression Canyon? She regretted that she had always been unruly and willful. She had clearly caused trouble for her grandfather, but now, her grandfather had become Long Yu's target. Tan Yu's eyes flashed with hatred as she raised her head to look at Long Yu. This ruthless Long Yu is also seriously injured. There is no way he will leave alive today. "Grandfather, don't worry, Patriarch Qin and Patriarch Luo will avenge you." Long Yu looked at the Tan family's patriarch and Tan Yu from afar. At this moment, he felt a little depressed. However, in this world where martial arts were respected, where human lives were like grass, life and death were extremely common. Furthermore, Long Yu had only been facing it all this time. Vicious and merciless? Long Yu denied it in his heart. He was only giving them a taste of their own medicine. He had never taken the initiative to cause trouble, it had always been others provoking him. Right now, he only wanted to protect the Feng clan for his foster father. If he failed, then the one to die would be himself and the 42 hot-blooded disciples of the Feng clan who stood behind him. "Long Yu, you're really something. Dealing with Feng Yun and Tan Rongfei with one punch, I'm impressed." Qin Duan saw the death of the Tan family's patriarch. Not only did he not feel sorry, he even laughed. "Now that you're seriously injured, how will you face me and brother Luo? It seems that Jade Gate City will belong to our Qin and Luo clans from now on." The Tan family was unhesitatingly excluded by Qin Duan. Without the Tan family's patriarch, Tan Rongfei, the Tan family was not qualified to share the benefits of destroying the Feng clan with the other 2 clans. Luo Qinghui quietly walked behind Long Yu. His temperament was elegant, but his eyes were as cunning as a fox. He did not say a word, but his eyes never left Long Yu. Luo Qinghui's calculations were flawless. He would never let Long Yu escape. Otherwise, even if the 2 clans shared Jade Gate City, it would not be safe. "Patriarch." At this moment, a group of people's orderly footsteps came from the street outside the Feng residence. Everyone looked over and saw a group of experts of the 8th stage of the martial path from the 3 clans. They were all dressed in black, carrying 2 corpses. Looking closely, weren't those 2 corpses Feng Zhangtian and Feng Yun? Feng Zhangtian wanted to abandon the Feng clan and escape with Feng Yun, but how could he escape from the joint pursuit of the 3 clans? At this moment, both of them died at the hands of the three clans. Ha! Feng Zhangtian and Feng Yun are dead. What's there to fear about the Feng clan? Qin Duan laughed heartily, causing the Qin disciples in the crowd to become excited. It seemed that today, the Qin and Luo clans were the biggest winners. After the Feng clan was wiped out in one fell swoop, the Feng clan's nearly 10 combat weapons, many spiritual herbs, and even some of the Feng clan's women would belong to them. After the Feng clan was destroyed, if they fancied a woman of the Feng clan, who would dare to disobey? It's a pity that the Tan clan's ancestor is dead. Luo Qinghui's eyes flickered as he looked at the experts of the Tan clan who brought back Feng Yun and Feng Zhangtian's corpses. Just now, Senior Tan Rongfei was killed by Long Yu with a single punch. It's really infuriating. Fortunately, we managed to injure him. Now, he's not far from death. As soon as Luo Qinghui said this, a total of 4 Tan clan's 8th stage martial path experts in black robes glared at Long Yu. Among the 4 of them, there were the Tan family's patriarch's sons, nephews, and brothers. Leave this kid's life to us? One of the 4 roared as he put down Feng Yun's corpse and charged straight at Long Yu. We're here to help you. The other 3 shouted loudly. All of them condensed their profound qi towards Long Yu, and unleashed extremely tyrannical attacks. The 2 of us will also lend you a hand. As Luo Qinghui spoke, he nodded at Qin Duan and followed closely behind the 4, attacking Long Yu. Chapter 63. When Qin Duan, Luo Qinghui, and the other 4 experts of the Tan clan attacked Long Yu together, Feng Chang'e immediately exclaimed, "You!" Feng Chang'e took a step forward, wanting to help. However, an expert of the Qin clan, who was at the 8th stage of the martial path, snorted coldly and blocked his way. Where do you think you're going? Don't even think about running around. Otherwise, even if the patriarch doesn't come, I will be able to take care of you. More than 200 martial cultivators did not attack Feng Chang'e and the 42 people behind him because they wanted to reduce unnecessary casualties. They were waiting for Qin Duan and Luo Qinghui, the 2 experts of the 9th stage martial path, to arrive so that they could easily kill Feng Chang'e and the others. Seeing that Long Yu was about to be killed by the 6 experts, the 42 people were filled with indignation and excitement. Everyone, don't panic. Seeing this, Feng Chang'e hurriedly stopped them. Right now, we can only choose to believe in you. The remaining 42 people were only at the 5th or 6th stage of the martial path. If they were to move, everyone would die. The only thing they could do now was to hope that Long Yu would be able to defeat them. Believe in Long Yu? Haha, don't make people laugh their heads off. Whether it was the experts of the 3 major clans or the disciples of the Feng clan, they all looked at the besieged Long Yu with a mocking smile. Facing 2 experts of the 9th stage of the martial path, Qin Duan, Luo Qinghui, and 4 experts of the 8th stage of the martial path from the Tan clan, how could the seriously injured Long Yu survive? What wishful thinking! In the field, Long Yu was surrounded by 6 people. The more dangerous it was, the calmer he became. You want to suppress me with numbers? Long Yu suddenly released the heaven-suppressing charm. If he wanted to fight against a group of people, the key was to comprehend the heaven and earth laws. As soon as the heaven-suppressing charm was released, a suppressive force suddenly descended from the sky, enveloping the 6 people who were besieging him. It was obvious that the 6 people's speed had significantly decreased. Long Yu, who had comprehended the heaven-suppressing divine charm, was much stronger than an ordinary 9th stage martial Dao cultivator. Under the suppression of the heaven-suppressing charm, the 4 experts of the Tan clan, who were at the 8th stage of the martial path, found it difficult to even breathe. Even Qin Duan and Luo Qinghui, who were at the 9th stage of the martial path, were greatly affected. However, even though they were suppressed by the heaven-suppressing charm, the 6 of them still charged at Long Yu. No matter how weakened they were individually, they would still pose a great threat to Long Yu if they joined forces. However, at this time, the profound qi in Long Yu's body was frozen by Luo Qinghui's palm, and all the meridians in his body were almost frozen. Not to mention fighting against the 6 people, he couldn't even use his movement skill for the time being. If this went on, Long Yu would definitely die. This world has had its own unique laws since ancient times. Some of these laws of heaven and earth are recorded by martial cultivators in the form of mental cultivation method. By cultivating these mental cultivation methods, one can attempt to comprehend certain laws of heaven and earth. The comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth starts at the conception stage, where one can initially feel the existence of the laws of heaven and earth. After that is the divine charm. One can communicate with the laws of heaven and earth and borrow the power of the laws of heaven and earth. After the divine charm is the comprehension of the power of the laws of heaven and earth. Borrowing the power of the laws of heaven and earth to condense the power of the laws of heaven and earth, the power is more than 10 times stronger than the divine charm. A light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. As he thought about it, he forcefully circulated the heaven-suppressing charm in his body. As his tempered dantian throbbed, the frozen meridians in his body gradually recovered, and profound qi flowed through the meridians in his body. He had usually circulated this route tens of thousands of times. It was the basic mental cultivation method of the heaven-suppressing charm. Every time he circulated it, he felt that his understanding of the laws of heaven and earth had deepened. At this moment, facing the crisis of being besieged by 6 experts, Long Yu's heartbeat accelerated. At this moment, the heaven-suppressing charm seemed to have undergone a transformation. Heavenly vein, break for me. Within Long Yu's body, the connection between the heavenly vein and the heaven and earth suddenly strengthened, allowing him to feel the power of the laws of heaven and earth. I've mastered it. This is the power of heaven and earth. Between heaven and earth, the laws of heaven and earth exist everywhere. As long as I can strengthen my connection with the heaven and earth, I can borrow the power of the laws of heaven and earth. A cold light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. At this moment, he had finally mastered the power of heaven and earth. Not only was it a great breakthrough in his martial cultivation, but it also allowed him to calmly face the current predicament he was facing. Power of heaven and earth, suppression. Long Yu took a step forward and unleashed the powerful power of heaven and earth. Like layers of raging waves, it swept towards the 6 people besieging him. Boom, boom, boom. Wave after wave, the power of heaven and earth completely suppressed the 6 people. Long Yu borrowed the power of heaven and earth not only by relying on his own strength, but also the power of heaven and earth. How could cultivators in the body-tempering realm, who were only in the 8th or 9th layer of the martial path, resist the power of heaven and earth? As soon as the power of heaven and earth was unleashed, the 6 people instantly froze on the spot, as if they were being suppressed by a terrifying force. Each of them felt like they had used up all their strength, their veins popped out and cold sweat poured down their faces. Not only the 6 people besieging Long Yu, but even the people nearby could feel an invisible force shrouding the place where Long Yu was, causing everyone to feel an indescribable pressure when they looked at Long Yu. This kind of oppressive feeling made them have a bad feeling at the bottom of their hearts. Suppress. Long Yu took another step forward. His celestial qi broke through the heavenly meridian and merged with the heaven and earth. The terrifying pressure instantly landed on the 6 people besieging him, causing them to spit out mouthfuls of blood. Before they could attack Long Yu, they were already injured and spitting out blood. Initially, they were confident of winning and wanted to get rid of Long Yu. But now, under the power of heaven and earth that Long Yu had comprehended, they had no choice but to be completely suppressed. The power originated from the heaven and earth, and was the power of the laws of heaven and earth. Long Yu's heavenly meridian was connected and he had comprehended the power of heaven and earth. Once released, he could use the power of the laws of heaven and earth to fight and suppress his opponent. This power was the absolute power of suppression. Unless there was a huge difference in the realm of martial cultivators, or they had also comprehended the power of the laws of heaven and earth, it was impossible to resist the suppression of the power of heaven and earth. Qin Duan. Long Yu snorted coldly and took a big step forward. To be honest, your daughter Qin Ronger still owes me a life. If it weren't for me, she would have died in the mouth of the soaring Serpent King. Not only did she not say a word of thanks, she even wanted to join forces with Qin Tianke to kill me and steal my pill. Don't you think it's your responsibility as a father to raise such a daughter? Qin Duan vomited blood under the suppression of the power of heaven and earth. His face was pale. He wanted to say something, but under the suppression of the power of heaven and earth, he couldn't even say a word. I feel that you are no longer suitable to be the Qin clan leader. You should reflect on your actions. Long Yu's figure flashed and in the next moment, he appeared in front of Qin Duan, his palm emitting a faint golden light. Demon subduing Vajra seal. Long Yu struck out with his palm, and Qin Duan didn't even have the slightest ability to resist. His whole body was sent flying by the slap, slamming heavily into the courtyard wall of the Feng clan residence and falling to the ground. Father! Qin Ronger was originally full of hope, thinking that she would definitely be able to avenge her brother Qin Tianke today. Who would have thought that Long Yu had comprehended the power of heaven and earth and sent Qin Duan flying with a slap? Listening to Long Yu's words, Qin Ronger wanted to find a hole to hide in. Returning kindness with enmity was against common sense. Even in the heavenly mandate continent where martial arts were respected, if this were to spread, people would look down on her. Now, she was a little regretful. Why did she want to kill Long Yu and steal the inner core of the soaring Serpent King? She started running, wanting to run to her father's side. However, she'd just entered the range of the dragon resisting the heavens and earth momentum when she immediately felt a terrifying and enormous force pressing down on her, causing her entire body to be completely suppressed. She fell heavily onto the ground and couldn't even get up. A dignified person at the 5th level of the martial path couldn't even stand under the suppression of the power of heaven and earth. It could be seen how tyrannical the power of heaven and earth was. Long Yu didn't pay attention to Qin Ronger at all. He turned around and walked to the other side, to the Luo clan leader, Luo Chenghui, who was also vomiting blood from the suppression. Luo clan leader, I, Long Yu, don't seem to have provoked you before, Long Yu said as he approached Luo Chenghui, his eyes flashing fiercely. My godfather's Feng clan didn't seem to have provoked you either. But you led the Luo clan to kill me, to destroy the Feng clan. Tell me, aren't you crazy? Are you worse than a pig or a dog? As soon as his voice fell, without waiting for Luo Chenghui to say anything, Long Yu's palm flashed with a faint golden light, and a demon-subduing Vajra seal flew out. Luo Chenghui's chest was struck by the faint golden light, and his whole body was suddenly sent flying. Like a fox, his eyes flashed with unwillingness, and without any suspense, he died. Under the suppression of the power of heaven and earth, Luo Chenghui's internal organs were already damaged. At this time, Long Yu's palm directly shattered his heart, killing him in one blow. Relying on the 9 underworld dragon seal and his comprehension of the power of heaven and earth, Long Yu dealt with 2 experts of the 9th level of the martial path, a clan leader level figure, with no effort at all. When Qin Duan and Luo Chenghui were both sent flying by Long Yu, everyone present was inexplicably shocked, and no one could say a word. Isn't this Long Yu a little too terrifying? Relying on his own strength, he defeated Feng Yun, a 9th level martial path expert, killed the Tan clan's ancestor with one punch, and now sent Qin Duan and Luo Chenghui flying, one dead and the other seriously injured. Involuntarily, the Tan clan, Qin clan, and Luo clan members began to involuntarily retreat. In the eyes of everyone present at this moment, Long Yu was like a monster. Even the joint clan leaders of the 3 great clans were defeated. What could the rest of them do to Long Yu? The remaining 4 Tan Clan 8th level martial path experts didn't need Long Yu to make a move. They had already been suppressed by the power of heaven and earth to the point of vomiting blood, and their cultivation had already been crippled by half. Maintaining the power of heaven and earth is really difficult. After sending Qin Duan and Luo Qinghui flying, Long Yu finally withdrew the power of heaven and earth. Chapter 64. The dust lingered in the air for a long time. Long Yu was the only one who stood upright. The way everyone looked at him had completely changed. "You!" Feng Chang'e was overjoyed when he saw Chen Xiaobei's strength. He was too strong. He couldn't help but think, Long Yu is indeed the descendant of the general. His talent is probably catching up to the generals in the past, right? Long Yu turned around and glanced at the 200 people surrounding Feng Chang'e. His gaze was so sharp that it caused the 200 people to retreat one after another. Even the Tan Clan's patriarch, Qin Duan, and Luo Qinghui were defeated by Long Yu. What else could they do against Long Yu? Even if they could defeat Long Yu with their numbers, who would be willing to take the lead? As Long Yu walked towards Feng Chang'e step by step, the more than 200 people retreated to the back, quickly opening up a path for Long Yu. "Long Yu, it's our patriarch's fault. We didn't want this to happen," a Qin clan's 8th stage martial path cultivator said. "Why don't we just let it go?" Long Yu glanced at the man and said, "You can come and go as you please. What do you think the Feng clan is?" "Sir, are you going to kill us all?" The Qin clan's cultivator snorted. "Even if you're strong, our 3 clans still have the advantage in numbers. If we fight, you'll be the one to die. However, you'll be the first to die. You, and maybe some others." Long Yu's eyes flashed as he glanced at everyone. These words, coupled with Long Yu's gaze, caused the Qin clan's martial cultivator to subconsciously take 2 steps back, his expression extremely unsightly. Indeed, with Long Yu's strength, he could kill a few of them with a single punch. If they wanted to defeat Long Yu, they could only pile up their corpses. "You forget it." Feng Chang'e stepped forward and shook his head at Long Yu. "Since my foster father has spoken, then you guys can leave. I won't make things difficult for you." "Oh right, bring your family head along with you," Long Yu said. The people of the 3 clans heaved a sigh of relief, as if they had been granted amnesty. If they really had to fight with Long Yu, who would dare? However, while the people from the 3 major clans heaved a sigh of relief, there were still some who became nervous and their heartbeats accelerated. These people were the 100 or so people who betrayed the Feng clan and wanted to join the 3 great clans. There were also those who had just left the Feng clan but were still hiding at the side to watch the situation. At first, they thought that the Feng clan was finished, so they abandoned the Feng clan. But now, Long Yu miraculously reversed the situation and saved the Feng clan from disaster. "Big brother Long Yu, your strength is too strong. From now on, our Feng clan will be led by you." Someone immediately changed his expression and left the camp of the 3 major clans. He walked toward Feng Chang'e and complimented him. With the current situation, the 3 major clans would not accept them. Their only option was to return to the Feng clan. However, based on the fact that they had betrayed the Feng clan first, would the Feng clan still accept them? Long Yu looked at the person who spoke and sneered. "I will not become the leader of the Feng clan. From now on, my foster father will still be the family head of the Feng clan." "However, does it have anything to do with you who will be the family head of the Feng clan?" Long Yu took a step forward with a sharp gaze and a sharp tone. "You have just left the Feng clan. I said that from the moment you left the Feng clan, you have nothing to do with the Feng clan." The expressions of the traitors changed when they heard this. One of them immediately said, "We are members of the Feng clan. We left temporarily to endure and hope that the Feng clan will rise again in the future. Why won't you let us return to the Feng clan?" "Because you are disloyal, heartless, and unjust." The Feng clan that my foster father controls does not need people like you. Long Yu sneered and said, "You so-called Feng clan members left the Feng clan one by one to seek refuge when the Feng clan was facing a crisis. This is disloyalty. You watched helplessly as your fellow Feng clan members were surrounded and killed one step further. You were indifferent and watched coldly from the sidelines. This is inhumane. You even helped the 3 great clans besiege the disciples of our Feng clan. This is unjust. My Feng clan will not accept such disloyal, heartless, and unjust people. Disloyal, heartless, and unjust." These 3 words caused the faces of the traitors to turn green and purple. They themselves felt that their actions were inappropriate, but who would have thought that Long Yu was so strong that he could defeat all the experts of the 9th level of the martial Dao from the 3 great clans? Now, they had no other choice but to return to the Feng clan. Long Yu, don't go too far." Someone shouted. "You said it yourself, you are not the head of the Feng clan. The head of the Feng clan is still your foster father, my uncle Feng Chang'e. Whether or not we can return to the Feng clan is up to my uncle to decide, not you." The moment he said this, he immediately felt proud of himself. Feng Chang'e, as the head of the Feng clan, had always been relatively weak and kind. He could almost foresee that Feng Chang'e would take them in on account of their former clansmen. Unfortunately, the moment he said this, Feng Chang'e indifferently glanced at him. "Even if I decide, how can you disloyal, heartless, and unjust people have the face to return to the Feng clan?" Feng Chang'e stared at the 42 people behind him and solemnly said, "From today onwards I am the head of the Xinfen clan, and behind me are the 42 people of the Xinfen clan." These words caused the expressions of all the traitors of the Feng clan to sink. Feng Chang'e actually didn't care about the past. They didn't know that Feng Chang'e was usually gentle because he was facing the Feng clan's disciples. But from the moment these people left the Feng clan, they were no longer the Feng clan's disciples. There was no need to be gentle and kind to them. Having said this, Feng Chang'e looked around and sneered. "Plus, let me make this clear. Although little Yu is very strong, he will not stay in the Feng clan. His world lies in a wider world. Without little Yu, the Xinfen clan will encounter all sorts of difficulties. At that time, won't you all still have to run?" With these words, many people finally calmed down. Yes, Long Yu was strong, but he was still not a member of the Feng clan. His surname was Long. With his strength, he couldn't stay in the Feng clan forever. One could imagine that once Long Yu left, the Qin clan, Tan clan, and Luo clan of Jade Pass City wouldn't let today's grudge go. At that time, the entire Xinfen clan, including Feng Chang'e, would probably die. Feng Chang'e sneered in his heart as he looked at the traitorous Feng clan's disciples hesitating. Just one sentence was enough to make these people shrink back. If they returned to the Xinfen clan and encountered difficulties, wouldn't they be useless? The Xinfen clan didn't want useless people. They didn't want disloyal, heartless, and unjust people. Behind Feng Chang'e, the remaining 42 members of the Feng clan all had expressions of excitement on their faces. They never thought that Long Yu would actually be so strong. With his own strength, he had defeated the 9th level martial Dao experts of the 3 great clans. Big brother Long Yu is indeed a genius. At such a young age, he actually fought against 3 clan masters, killing 2 and heavily injuring 1. Amazing! I really hope that I, Feng Xiaofei, can be as strong as Big Brother Long Yu and shelter the Feng clan from the wind and rain. I, Feng Haofeng, may not be a genius like Big Brother Long Yu, but in the future, I will work even harder to repay the clan master's kindness. The 42 people were excited as they looked at Long Yu with eyes full of worship. However, at this time, a disdainful and contemptuous laughter came from afar. Ah, genius? In my opinion, this kid is only SOSO. If you say he's a genius, then it's really laughable. Following this voice, the members of the Xinfen clan, the traitors of the Feng clan, and the members of the 3 great clans who hadn't gone far all looked towards the end of the street. They saw a young man wearing a golden silk robe with a disdainful smile on his face. With 4 followers, he walked step by step toward the Feng clan. Although his steps were slow, his speed was extremely fast. In just a few steps, he had already arrived outside the Feng mansion's courtyard wall. "Who are you? How dare you look down on Big Brother Long Yu?" Behind Feng Chang'e, a skinny youth angrily shouted. He was one of the few people with the highest cultivation in the Xinfeng clan, Feng Xiaofei. He had just stepped into the 6th level of the martial path. "Look down on you?" The young man wearing the golden silk robe laughed mockingly. "A village brute like this kid doesn't even have the qualifications for me to look down on him." Long Yu glanced at the 5 people in front of him with a slight frown. He didn't know the young man in the golden silk robe, but his intuition told him that he was very strong. However, one of the followers behind him was a little familiar. That follower was handsome and quite elegant. Didn't he look 70 to 80% similar to Feng Yao's cousin, Lu Mingxian? As if seeing the different expressions on everyone's faces, the follower who looked a little like Lu Mingxian chuckled and proudly introduced, "Young Master Wang Tianjue comes from the Wang clan of the Imperial City. His talent is outstanding and is not something that you country bumpkins can imagine. This is a true genius. This so-called genius Long Yu isn't even worthy of carrying our young Master Wang's shoes." Following this, the young man in the golden silk robe stood proudly at the entrance of the Feng mansion, looking down at the crowd with disdain. He was Wang Tianjue from the Wang clan of the Imperial City. With his status and cultivation, even if he just stood there, everyone should be prostrating themselves in worship. This young master has come to this countryside only for a beauty. Wang Tianjue glanced at Feng Chang'e, who was in the Feng mansion. "Why isn't junior sister Feng Yao here?" Feng Chang'e frowned slightly. "You're too late. She's already returned to the sect. If that's the case, it's the same for me to look for you." Wang Tianjue chuckled. "Your junior sister Feng Yao's father. I believe you can make the decision for her marriage. I'm here to get engaged to junior sister Feng Yao." Feng Chang'e said calmly, "My daughter knows what she's doing in life. As her father, I'm afraid I can't control her." "Is that so?" Wang Tianjue narrowed his eyes as a vicious glint flashed across his eyes. "I'm afraid you don't know who I, Wang Tianjue, am. Since that's the case, I'll let you have a look at my strength before deciding whether I, Wang Tianjue, am qualified to marry junior sister Feng Yao." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Tianjue's eyes immediately locked onto Long Yu. This instantly increased the pressure on Long Yu. He felt as if he was being stared at by a ferocious tiger. This Wang Tianjue is very powerful. The pressure I feel when facing him is much greater than facing Feng Yun. Could it be that he's an expert from the true spirit realm? Chapter 65. The pressure Long Yu felt when facing Wang Tianjue was even greater than facing the 3 ninth stage martial path patriarchs. This kind of pressure was a little similar to when Long Yu was facing the number 1 core disciple and had to walk. True spirit realm. Feng Chang'e's expression turned ugly as he uttered those words. It was a disaster for a true spirit realm expert to appear in Jade Pass City. Even if everyone in Jade Pass City joined forces, they wouldn't be a match for a true spirit realm expert. Wang Tianjue was a genius of the royal city's Wang family. As long as his talent wasn't too bad, it would be easy for him to reach the 9th stage of the martial path. However, to condense a true spirit, one's talent had to be pretty good. Otherwise, it would be impossible to break through the bottleneck. Wang Tianjue looked to be only 24 or 25 years old. To be able to step into the true spirit realm meant that his talent was pretty good. "Deputy General Feng, you're quite knowledgeable." The corner of Wang Tianjue's mouth curled up as he looked arrogantly at Long Yu and said disdainfully, "A country bumpkin like you probably hasn't even seen a true spirit before." Today, I, Wang Tianjue, will be merciful and show you what a true spirit is." With that, Wang Tianjue raised his hand and a ferocious aura gathered around his body. At that moment, Long Yu felt even more like he was facing a ferocious tiger. Wang Tianjue condensed his profound qi and instantly formed the illusory image of a ferocious tiger behind him. At the same time, a tiger's roar resounded through the forest, deafening everyone present. Many people subconsciously covered their ears. The ferocious tiger roar made Long Yu grit his teeth and take a few steps back. This power was too strong. Wang Tianjue condensed a Tiger King true spirit, and the moment it appeared, it immediately forced Long Yu to retreat. The Wang family has been cultivating the Tiger King art for generations. If a Wang family descendant condenses a true spirit, it will most likely be a Tiger King true spirit. Feng Chang'e also took a few steps back with a grave expression on his face. He seemed to have some understanding of the factions in the imperial city, and Wang Tianjue had also addressed him as Deputy General Feng. It was clear that Feng Chang'e's past experiences were different from those of ordinary people. Long Yu, on the other hand, was carefully observing Wang Tianjue's back. The image of a ferocious tiger was much larger than a real tiger. On its forehead, there was a large Wang character, which matched the Wang clan's surname. The image of the ferocious tiger was 3 zhang long and more than 1 zhang tall. It floated behind Wang Tianjue and was as tall as a house. As soon as it appeared, it shocked all the cultivators present. This was the true spirit. An expert in the true spirit secret realm could condense a true spirit. This was a true expert in the world. Once a true spirit appeared, a mere 9th rank martial path cultivator would not be able to fight against it. However, if you want to fight, then I, Long Yu, will naturally accompany you. Long Yu was not afraid at all. Facing an expert from the true spirit secret realm, not only did he not retreat, his heart was filled with the desire to fight. In front of him was someone from the true spirit secret realm, a true expert. Previously, he had only seen Elder Yu release the true spirit of the heavenly suppression palm from afar. Now that he was facing the true spirit of the Tiger King, he had a better understanding of the power of the true spirit secret realm. Law of suppression, force of heaven and earth. Instead of retreating, Long Yu clenched his teeth and released the force of suppression. After a short period of rest, his dantian pulsated, allowing his xian qi to recover by 30%. At this moment, he chose to release the force of suppression to fight against Wang Tianjue's Tiger King true spirit. Under the true spirit, all living beings are but ants. Wang Tianjue was slightly surprised when he sensed the force of heaven and earth that Long Yu had released. However, he smiled disdainfully, and the image of the Tiger King behind him roared and instantly broke through Long Yu's force of heaven and earth. "I can defeat you with a casual punch. It'll be as easy as crushing an ant." Wang Tianjue laughed in disdain. He waved his fists and charged towards Long Yuxiang. As he threw out his fist, the Tiger King phantom behind him suddenly roared, as if it had bestowed him with even greater power. Demon subduing Vajra shield. Long Yu clenched his teeth and circulated the xian qi in his body. A faint golden light appeared on the surface of his body. What's the use of defending? Wang Tianjue's arrogant figure appeared in front of Long Yu in an instant. Accompanied by the roar of the Tiger King, he punched at Long Yu. Bang! With a loud bang, Long Yu was hit on the shoulder by the punch. His whole body flew backwards and landed heavily on the ground. It's not that the force of heaven and earth can't resist the true spirit's pressure. It's just that the difference in strength is too great. Long Yu crawled up with difficulty and gritted his teeth. He could clearly feel that his force of heaven and earth made Wang Tianjue's Tiger King's force of heaven and earth decrease a lot. However, because the difference in their basic strength was too great, his force of heaven and earth was instantly broken by the opponent. Trash like him, you guys still have the nerve to call him a genius? Haha, this is too funny. Wang Tianjue strolled in front of Long Yu and stood there proudly. He glanced at him from the corner of his eye, his eyes filled with disdain. Now you should know who the genius is, and who the trash is, right? With just a single punch, Long Yu was sent flying and injured. This scene caused everyone present to be dumbfounded. Hearing Wang Tianjue's mocking words, everyone from the Xinfen clan glared at him and clenched their fists. However, they knew that if even Long Yu was not Wang Tianjue's opponent, then they would not be in Wang Tianjue's eyes. Those who betrayed the Feng clan were all rejoicing in their misfortune. This Long Yu is actually a piece of trash, but he can only strut around in front of us. Yes, he met the genius young Master Wang from the Imperial City and was sent flying with one punch. It seems like the Imperial City is the real world of martial cultivators. This Jade Gate City is too small. I've decided, so what if the Feng clan doesn't want me? I will go to the Imperial City and make a name for myself in the future, then come back and look down on the Feng clan. Everyone mocked Long Yu, but it did not affect Long Yu at all. Seeing Wang Tianjue walk in front of him, Long Yu struggled to get up. Without lifting his head, he immediately gathered the netherworld energy and threw a punch towards Wang Tianjue. 9 Underworld Dragon Fist, drunk lying in the Yellow Springs. This punch simulated the Yellow Springs Road, shocking the mind. The netherworld energy instantly transformed into the Yellow Springs Road, directly enveloping Wang Tianjue within it. This caused the proud Wang Tianjue's expression to stiffen. At this moment, Long Yu walked along the Yellow Springs Road. He was the master of the Yellow Springs Road. So what if the true spirit of the Tiger King floated behind Wang Tianjue? Under the Yellow Springs Road, Wang Tianjue was instantly invaded by the netherworld energy, causing him to lose his mind. 9 Underworld Dragon Fist, shocked the Yellow Springs. Long Yu threw a punch. The 9 Underworld Dragon Seal was instantly activated, and the Wandering Soul's glove flashed with a black light. This punch contained all of Long Yu's strength. It was the strength of 300 horses, and it was thrown out with great vigor. Roar! The phantom of the Tiger King's true spirit roared, and a ferocious pressure immediately enveloped Long Yu. You're just a beast formed from Xianqi. How dare you stop me? Long Yu shouted and released his heaven-suppressing aura. Taking advantage of Wang Tianjue's dazed state, he instantly broke through the pressure of the Tiger King's true spirit. His black figure seemed to be moving against the waves as he closed in on Wang Tianjue. The fist that was condensed with the netherworld energy was about to land on Wang Tianjue's chest. However, at this moment, Wang Tianjue finally woke up from his dazed state. The moment he opened his eyes, he saw Long Yu actually withstood the pressure of the Tiger King's true spirit and swung his fist at him. He was immediately alarmed. What kind of martial skill was that just now? It actually made Wang Tianjue lose his mind. Moreover, this Long Yu was clearly only at the 8th level of the martial Tao, yet he was able to release the heaven-suppressing aura to break through the pressure of the Tiger King's true spirit. It was truly terrifying. This brat, he makes me angry. Killing intent flashed in Wang Tianjue's eyes. The Tiger King's true spirit behind him immediately let out an angry roar, causing him to throw an even more terrifying punch than before. The strength of 1,000 horses condensed in his fist, and in an instant, it collided with Long Yu's fist. Gotcha! The bones in Long Yu's fist shattered, and his entire body was once again sent flying, heavily crashing to the ground. However, the netherworld energy condensed from his fist also seeped into Wang Tianjue's body, causing his face to turn green and purple, as if he was poisoned. What kind of strange energy is this? Wang Tianjue was shocked, and he immediately circulated his Xian Qi, trying to suppress the netherworld energy. As an expert in the true spirit realm, the strength of his Xian Qi was naturally extraordinary, so he easily blocked the netherworld energy in his meridians. However, as strong as Wang Tianjue was, he was unable to refine the netherworld energy in a short period of time. Once he let his guard down, the netherworld energy would immediately wreak havoc in his body and corrode his meridians. Damn it! This way, Wang Tianjue could temporarily use less than 30% of his strength, which he had to use to suppress the netherworld energy. This made him very angry. He never thought that he would accidentally fall into a trap against a cultivator in the 8th level of the martial Dao. If it wasn't for his high cultivation, he would have been killed by Long Yu with a single punch. But now, you don't have any chance? Wang Tianjue's eyes were filled with killing intent as he looked at Long Yu. Meanwhile, Feng Changa's expression changed slightly. He took a step forward and stood in front of Long Yu. Master Wang, you've proven your strength. Long Yu is no match for you. Feng Changa said coldly, if you want to kill him, you'll have to step over my dead body. However, I only have one thing to say to my daughter, Feng Yao. If you want to marry her, then go find her. As her father, I can't control her decision. Deputy General Feng, are you saying this because you think I won't dare to attack you because of your daughter? Wang Tianjue harumphed coldly as he stared at Feng Changa. Then you can try. Feng Changa was fearless. His eyes were cold as he faced Wang Tianjue. If you don't move aside, then I'll really give it a try. Wang Tianjue glanced at Feng Changa and harumphed coldly. Stop! A clear and urgent voice suddenly sounded out from the side, and it caused everyone present to be stunned when they heard it. Feng Yao. Chapter 66. Wang Tianjue was startled when he saw Feng Yao before he smiled. Junior sister Feng Yao, didn't you return to the sect? He asked coolly. Feng Yao did not answer him. Instead, she gritted her teeth and said, I don't care what you do to Long Yu, but I won't allow you to hurt my father. Wang Tianjue laughed. It's not up to anyone to tell me who I want to deal with. However, junior sister Feng Yao, if you agree to marry me, you won't be considered an outsider, but one of us. That's right. The handsome young man who resembled Lu Mingxian smiled and said, Cousin, young Master Wang is the young genius of the imperial city's Wang family. His status and identity are more than enough for you. Feng Yao gently bit her lip when she heard this. She looked at Wang Tianjue and then at Feng Changa. We can get engaged, but I won't be leaving with you for the time being. After pondering for a long time, Feng Yao finally said coldly, I'm only 16 this year. When I turn 18, I'll definitely pay a visit to the Wang family. I believe that as a genius of the Wang family, young Master Wang shouldn't be afraid that I'll go back on my word. 2 years. Wang Tianjue's eyes flickered with amusement as he said playfully, Of course I'm not afraid that you'll go back on your word. Everyone here heard what you said. However, I advise you to give up on the idea of finding a backer that's comparable to the Wang family in 2 years. Feng Yao's words were spot on, but Wang Tianjue did not object. He was from the imperial city's Wang family, so he was confident in his family background. 2 years was not a short time, but it was not a long time either. What kind of backer could Feng Yao find in such a short time? It was even more impossible for Feng Yao to grow strong enough to go against the Wang family in 2 years. The imperial city's Wang family was one of the 4 major families of the Great Tang Kingdom. They had a strong foundation and overall strength that was comparable to a sect like the Zhentian clan. It's none of your business. All you need to know is that I'll keep my word. Feng Yao said coldly. All right, I promise you that I won't do anything to Deputy General Feng. Wang Tianjue confidently nodded, and then a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. However, you have to get your father out of my way. Today, I must kill this Long Yu. Father, please step aside. Feng Yao turned to look at Feng Changa with hope in her eyes. Mother and I were worried about you, so we came back to take a look. Otherwise, I'm afraid. Don't say anything else. Feng Changa's expression was resolute as he shook his head and said, I won't stand by and watch you get killed. His eyes were filled with heartache. He knew that Feng Yao had never liked Wang Tianjue, yet she had agreed to marry him in order to save him. This was a shameful engagement, a disgrace to the Feng clan, a disgrace to Feng Chang'e. However, he was utterly powerless to stop all of this. If he hadn't been injured all those years ago, how could he possibly be unable to even stop Wang Tianjue now? Unfortunately, there was nothing he could do now. The only thing he could do was to stop Wang Tianjue for Long Yu and save Long Yu's life. In the past, it was the general who had saved his life. Now, even if he had to die, he had to protect the general's only bloodline. You want to stop me, but do you think you can? Wang Tianjue chuckled coldly when he saw the determination in Feng Chang'e's eyes. He took a step forward, and the Tiger King true spirit behind him roared once again. A ferocious aura swept toward Feng Chang'e, causing him to be unable to move at all. Move aside! Wang Tianjue snapped and raised his right hand. A tiger's roar was heard, followed by a ferocious suppression that pushed Feng Chang'e over 10 zhang away. Father! Feng Yao immediately ran over and helped Feng Chang'e up. You! Feng Chang'e's expression changed. He tried to run toward Yu Tianjue, but Feng Yao blocked his way. Wang Tianjue walked toward the injured Long Yu, one step at a time. The bones in Long Yu's right hand were completely shattered, and the meridians in his body were damaged. He could not even stand up under the suppression of the Tiger King true spirit. You're only in the 8th layer martial path, but you managed to injure me. Not bad at all. Wang Tianjue arrived before Long Yu with a cold glint in his eyes. Unfortunately, you're going to die in my hands today. Feng Chang'e's eyes almost popped out of their sockets when he heard this. How could Long Yu die just like that? He was the general's only son, and he had displayed such a terrifying talent. How could he be killed by someone like Wang Tianjue? Everyone's attention was focused on Wang Tianjue. They were eager to see how he was going to kill Long Yu. However, a sharp eagle's cry suddenly came from the sky, causing Wang Tianjue's expression to change. Who's there? Wang Tianjue felt as if he was being targeted by someone from afar. The moment he made a move, he would be attacked like a storm. This was the intuition of a true spirit realm expert. Wang Tianjue felt as if he would die the moment he moved. Ha ha ha! The laughter of an arrogant man could be heard from afar. Following that, a young man in black clothes appeared on the roof of the Feng family's hall. This young man in black clothes was handsome and had an arrogant smile on his face. He looked down at the crowd with an arrogant aura. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat when he saw him. Walking? This young man in black clothes was the #1 core disciple of the Zhentian clan, Walking. The sharp eagle's cry came from a heavenly eagle true spirit realm expert that appeared behind him, soaring proudly in the sky with a domineering aura. Walking. He was also a true spirit realm expert. The appearance of the heavenly eagle true spirit instantly locked onto Wang Tianjue, preventing him from moving. Walking. Wang Tianjue raised his head. Seeing Walking's figure, his expression changed. As a member of the Wang family, how could he not know Walking's identity? He was one of the Great Tang country's 9 great geniuses. Walking was much stronger than Wang Tianjue. Unexpectedly, the moment he said Walking, the black-clothed young man standing on the roof of the Feng family's hall, Walking's expression darkened. What did you say? Walking's arrogant eyes locked onto Wang Tianjue. He was like a soaring eagle that had finally found its prey. This feeling made Wang Tianjue's heart beat faster. Damn, I forgot I can't call him by his name in front of him. Wang Tianjue's forehead was instantly covered in cold sweat. When he had just arrived at Jade Pass City, Wang Tianjue had swaggered around as if he was the ruler of Jade Pass City, controlling everything. But facing Walking, his heart was filled with apprehension. He was afraid that the other party would kill him in a fit of rage. This was the effect of strength. Who do you think you are to dare shout at young Master Wang like this? At this moment, an arrogant and despotic voice rang out. It was one of Wang Tianjue's 4 followers. He had a sharp mouth and monkey cheek. As he looked up at Walking, his face was filled with disdain and disdain. As Wang Tianjua's follower, he had the strength of the 8th stage of the martial path. In Jade Pass City, he could be considered an expert. This made him lose his composure. Clearly, this guy hadn't recognized Walking's identity. And this had also put an end to his life. Who do I think I am? Why don't you ask your master, who do I think I am? A cold sneer appeared on Bufang's arrogant face. Immediately after, a sharp eagle cry sounded, and the heavenly eagle true spirit behind him suddenly swooped down, sending a fierce gust of wind towards the follower who had just spoken. In just an instant, with a sharp eagle cry and a gust of wind, the follower's heart meridians were shattered by the terrifying force. His eyes were wide open as he slowly fell to the ground. With Walking's strength, killing an ordinary 8th stage martial path cultivator was simply beneath him. The true spirit of the heavenly eagle would be able to shatter the other party's heart meridians. Then, the true spirit of the soaring heavenly eagle turned and swooped down towards Wang Tianjua. Wang Tianjua, you bully a disciple of my Zhentian clan. Do you think there's no one left in my Zhentian clan? Walking's arrogant voice descended from the sky. Then, accompanied by the true spirit of the heavenly eagle, it attacked Wang Tianjua like a gust of wind. Senior Brother Bu, I didn't know that this guy was a disciple of the Zhentian clan, Wang Tianjua hurriedly explained. The true spirit of the Tiger King behind him roared angrily and rushed forward, trying to block Walking's attack. However, the true spirit of the heavenly eagle was clearly much stronger than the true spirit of the Tiger King. In just a single exchange, with a sharp eagle cry, the true spirit of the Tiger King was blown away by the gust of wind. The true spirit of the Tiger King that Wang Tianjua was so proud of had been destroyed in an instant. The heavenly eagle fighting tiger had actually destroyed it in the blink of an eye. Then, the true spirit of the heavenly eagle flapped its 8 to 9 zhang long illusory wings, and a gust of wind swept Wang Tianjua into it. You want to kill a disciple of my Zhentian clan? I'd like to see who's going to kill who today. Walking laughed wildly and arrogantly. With a wave of his hand, he swept Wang Tianjua from the bottom of the gust of wind into the sky, and the true spirit of the heavenly eagle caught him in its beak. I'm from the Wang family of the Imperial City. Do you really dare to kill me? In the face of a life-threatening threat, Wang Tianjua habitually tried to use his family to save his life in a moment of desperation. I comprehended the heaven-suppressing great power from watching the heavenly eagle. What do I have to fear from your family of giant insects in the forest? Walking laughed heartily. Fine, since you've used your true spirit to bully Junior Brother Long Yu today, I'll let you live. Junior Brother Long Yu will personally take your life in the future. As soon as he finished speaking, the gust of wind dissipated, and Wang Tianjua fell from the sky. With a bang, he smashed into the ground. However, at this time, Wang Tianjua was already seriously injured, and since he did not suppress the netherworld qi, the meridians in his body had already begun to be corroded by it. Cough, cough. Wang Tianjua coughed out a mouthful of blood and struggled to get up. He glared at Walking with hatred in his eyes. I'll remember today's humiliation. One day, I'll definitely avenge this humiliation. Scram. It's not too late to say such words when you're strong enough. Walking laughed arrogantly, as if he did not care about Wang Tianjua at all. The battle between the heavenly eagle and the Tiger King had been decided in just a moment. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded and did not know what to say. Chapter 67. Jade Pass City, Feng Residence. Countless people gathered to watch. From the start until the end of the show, everyone's heart raced several times. At the start, Feng Yun became the family head but was provoked by Long Yu. He defeated Ling Lai and crippled Feng Yun. Following that, the Tan, Qin, and Luo families rebelled and wanted to destroy the Feng family. However, they were stopped by Long Yu. Out of the 3 family heads, 2 were killed and 1 was injured. Long Yu's strength was deeply engraved in everyone's hearts. However, Wang Tianjue from the Wang family used the Tiger King True Spirit to defeat Long Yu. However, he was easily defeated by the number 1 core disciple of the Zhentian clan. Twists and turns, waves of exclamations. "Let's go!" Wang Tianjue struggled to stand up. Very quickly, the handsome youth that looked like Lu Mingxian ran over to support him. Of the 4 followers he brought, 1 was dead. There were only 3 left, and they hurriedly brought him out of the Feng residence. When he passed by Feng Yao, Wang Tianjue suddenly paused and snorted, "Don't forget our agreement. 2 years later, remember to come to the Wang family to fulfill the marriage." Feng Yao's eyes flickered. She knew that although Wang Tianjue lost to Feng Yun, it did not mean that he had lost. When he returned, Wang Tianjue would definitely not be satisfied. If the experts of the Wang family were to move, it would be difficult for Feng Yun to stop them. 2 years later, I, Feng Yao, will pay you a visit, Feng Yao said coldly. Humph! Wang Tianjue looked at her cold expression and could not help but wonder what kind of seductive scene she would be when she was on his knees. He snorted lightly and left with his 3 followers in a haughty manner. Lu Mingqiang. Suddenly, Feng Yao called out to the lackey who looked like Lu Mingxian and asked indifferently, "When did the Lu clan become the Wang clan's vassal, and you became Wang Tianjue's lackey?" The youth that looked like Lu Mingxian was called Lu Mingqiang. When he heard this, he could not help but laugh. "You are not a member of the Lu family. Do I need you to care about me?" Moreover, in the entire Tang Empire, the Wang family was one of the top families. Young Master Wang's talent is outstanding. What's wrong with me being friends with young Master Wang? Look at you, how can you talk to my cousin like that? The beautiful woman who had been hiding at the side rushed out. It was Feng Yao's mother, Lu Yu. Lu Yu glared at Feng Yao, then smiled at Lu Mingqiang and Wang Tianjue. "Mingqiang, young Master Wang, my daughter doesn't know any better. If she could really marry young Master Wang, it would be a blessing that she had cultivated for 8 lifetimes. Perhaps in less than 2 years, she would understand this truth. At that time, I will definitely bring her to visit the Wang clan. Looks like there are still sensible people in Jade Pass City," Wang Tianjue said arrogantly. Although he had just lost to Bu, it was not enough to make him realize anything. Just from the background of the Imperial City's Wang clan, his arrogance had become a habit. "Yao follow me back to the Lu clan," Lu Yu said to Feng Yao. "I'm not going." Feng Yao shook her head coldly and turned to leave. The direction she was heading in was the direction of the ice sect. Right now, Feng Yao only had this one place to go. She did not have the face to stay in the Feng clan. Moreover, staying in the Feng clan would not give her any chance to improve. As for the Lu clan, she still could not forget the humiliation she had suffered when she was young. If she did not become strong enough, Feng Yao would not return to the Lu clan. This last, Lu Yu cursed inwardly. Then, she smiled at Wang Tianjue and said, "Young Master Wang, please don't be angry. I remember this girl said that the ice sect wanted to talk to her about something. She had to go back to her sect first. It doesn't matter. Anyway, everyone knows about the promise in 2 years," Wang Tianjue said indifferently. Looking at Feng Yao's beautiful back, a hint of greed flashed in his eyes. Wang Tianjue was extremely fond of beautiful women. Not to mention that Feng Yao's talent was quite good. She was qualified to be his wife. He turned around and glared at Bu and Long Yu. Then, he turned around and left with his 3 followers and Lu Yu. Some people won't shed a tear until they see the coffin. Bu looked at Wang Tianjue and shrugged. "Junior brother Long Yu, the next time you meet him, I'm afraid even he won't be a match for you." Bu turned his head and looked at Long Yu with a smile. "Your speed of improvement really puts me, as your senior brother, to shame." Long Yu stood up and slowly shook his head. "My strength is still too weak. Any random person from the True Spirit Secret Realm would be able to defeat me, Haha, you're only in the 8th stage of the martial path. I've never heard of anyone in the 8th stage of the martial path defeating someone from the true spirit realm. Bu shook his head with a smile. You're asking too much of yourself. Even if you're only in the 1st stage of the true spirit realm, your basic strength is 3 to 4 times that of a 9th stage martial path expert. That's the strength of 1,000 horses. The current Long Yu's maximum strength is equivalent to the strength of 300 fierce horses. However, the gap between him and a true spirit realm expert was too big. Even if he comprehended the power of the heavens and earth, it was impossible for him to fight against them. Realm was the foundation. Only with a realm would one have enough basic strength. Otherwise, no matter what martial skill he cultivated or what intent he comprehended, it would all be useless. Senior brother is right. Long Yu nodded. He knew that he had been too hasty. However, if he could step into the 9th stage of the martial path and double his basic strength, it would be possible for him to deal with a 1st stage true spirit realm expert like Wang Tianjue. After all, even a true spirit realm expert might not be able to comprehend the power of the heavens and earth. Furthermore, you being able to comprehend the power of the heavens and earth is beyond my expectations. Bu Fang smiled as he patted Long Yu's shoulder. I was watching the sky eagle. When I condensed my true spirit, I opened up my heavenly meridian, which allowed me to comprehend the power of the heavens and earth. I'm guessing that once you step into the true spirit realm, you'll be able to comprehend domain. That's the highest realm of the heaven-suppressing art. Let's not think about the true spirit realm for now. Right now, I'm still far from the 9th stage of the martial path. Long Yu said as he shook his head. That's right. One step at a time. The path of martial Tao requires one to move forward steadily. Otherwise, an unstable foundation is a taboo. Bu Fang praised. At that moment, Feng Chang'e finally came to their side. He said to Bu Fang gratefully, "Thank you, senior brother." Haha, there's no need to be so polite. My master is an old friend of Vice General Feng's. Bu Fang laughed. Feng Chang'e was taken aback by Feng Chang'e's words. Who is your master? White Cloud Trail. Bu Fang uttered these 3 words. Those 3 words caused Feng Chang'e to be pleasantly surprised. As for Long Yu, he was astonished. The sect leader of the Zhentian clan, White Cloud Trail, was Bu Fang's master. No wonder Elder Tan Wuchuan didn't dare to do anything to Bu Fang back in the Soaring Snake Abyss. Other than strength, there was also the factor of identity. How could Tan Wuchuan dare to do anything to Bu Fang? So it's General Bai. Feng Chang'e sighed. My master used to be a general, but now, he's just the sect leader of the Zhentian clan. Bu Fang shook his head with a smile. All right, Senior Feng, I'll be bringing junior brother Long Yu back to the sect. Master has arranged something for him to see. Do as you wish. Feng Chang'e smiled. He then turned to Long Yu and said, Little Yu, you've improved rapidly, but don't be complacent on the path of martial Tao. Do you understand? Understood. Long Yu nodded. As for the Xinfen clan, you don't have to worry about it. Feng Chang'e looked around and said, The 3 clans don't have a 9th layer martial path sect leader, so they won't cause trouble for me for the time being. Furthermore, Yao Er's engagement with Wang Tianjue will serve as a deterrent. It's a pity for Yao Er, when Long Yu saw the unwillingness and humiliation in Feng Chang'e's eyes. He knew that Feng Chang'e didn't want Feng Yao to marry into the Wang clan. However, Feng Chang'e didn't have the ability to stop it. If it were to become a reality, it would be a pain and hatred for the rest of his life. Long Yu kept the matter in mind. He had to pay a visit to the royal city's Wang clan, but not now. If he wanted to break into the royal city's Wang clan, he would need to be stronger than Bu Fang. This wasn't something that could be achieved overnight. Luckily, Feng Yao and Wang Tianjue's engagement was 2 years. 2 years could change a lot of things. Saving Feng Yao wasn't for her, but for Feng Chang'e. Brother Long Yu, you can do it. When Long Yu and Bu Fang turned to leave, the blessings of the 42 members of the Xinfen clan could be heard from behind. The current Feng clan was much more spacious than before. The entire Feng clan, including Feng Chang'e, only had 43 members. However, the Xinfen clan's cohesiveness was unprecedentedly strong. "You guys can do it too?" Long Yu didn't turn back. His footsteps paused for a moment, then he continued walking. The majority of the traders of the Feng clan also left. Their destination was the royal city. Today, they had witnessed Wang Tianjua's strength. They all felt that only the royal city had the opportunity to nurture a true expert. As for the other 3 clans of Jade Pass City, they also dispersed. They had suffered heavy losses today. Even if they recuperated for a long time, they might not be able to make up for today's losses. Originally, they wanted to swallow up the Feng clan and reap the benefits, but now they went for wool and came home shorn. All of this was because of the appearance of a monster like Long Yu. At this point, the bustling Jade Pass City finally came to a stop. Long Yu followed Bu Fang. Soon, they left Jade Pass City and headed towards the Gentian clan in the south. "Junior brother, do you really want to know about your past?" Walking arrogantly ran as he asked aloud. "Senior brother, do you know?" When Long Yu heard this, his heart shook. He had long wanted to know about his past, but he had no way of finding out. Feng Chang'e was also unwilling to talk about it. "My master knows. This time, he called you back to tell you some things. With your current strength, it's time for you to know these things." When Bu Fang's words reached Long Yu's ears, he became somewhat impatient. Chapter 68. 2 days later, Long Yu followed Zhong Yun back to the Gentian clan and arrived at the bamboo forest where the Elder's Chamber was located. Along the way, Zhong Yun told Long Yu a few things. In the past, Zhong Yun and Long Yu's father, Long Zai-Tian, were both generals of the Great Tang Empire, and Feng Chang'e was Long Zai-Tian's deputy. To be able to become a general and lead an army against enemies, Long Zai-Tian, Zhong Yun, and Feng Chang'e's cultivation were at least above the true spirit realm. However, Feng Chang'e's meridians were damaged from the battle, so he could only exert strength equivalent to the 8th stage of the martial path. He couldn't even release his true spirit. "So my father's name is Long Zai-Tian, a general of the Great Tang Empire. However, Zhong Yun doesn't know much about this. I'll have to ask sect leader Bai for more details." Long Yu thought to himself as he raised his head and looked at the Elder's Chamber in the bamboo forest. "The sect leader is inside. You can go in first," Zhong Yun said as he reminded Long Yu with a smile. "Oh right, junior brother, remember to look for me at the martial skill chamber later. Your good brother, Ling Han, sent you a messenger pigeon 2 days ago. He might have something to talk to you about." And Long Yu's heart stirred as he nodded his head. Ling Han did mention that he was going back to the Ling clan's villa. Could something have happened to him? Long Yu put this matter aside for the time being and strode into the Elder Pavilion. At this moment, the Elder's Pavilion was empty, unlike the previous time when many elders were gathered together. Long Yu looked in and saw a middle-aged man in his 30s. He had short hair and a small mustache. He was the sect leader of the Heaven-Suppressing Sect, Bai Yunzong. At this moment, White Cloud Zong was casually sitting down, drinking tea while raising his head and glancing at Long Yu. "Catch!" Tracks of White Cloud said. With a wave of his hand, he threw a spear towards Long Yu. "This is?" Long Yu was taken aback. He subconsciously stretched out his hand, wanting to catch the spear. However, as soon as his hand touched the spear, he felt as if a dragon's roar came from the spear and penetrated deeply into his spirit and soul. So heavy! Long Yu's body trembled and he stretched out his other hand to support the spear. Only then was he able to stabilize his body. This long spear was much heavier than he had imagined. It was probably several tens of thousands of kilograms, which made him lose his balance for a moment, and he was almost smashed to the ground. "This spear was used by your father when he was alive. It's called the Heaven Dragon Spear. White Cloud Trace's tone was melancholic, as if he was reminiscing about something. Heaven Dragon's Spear. Long Yu frowned. His father used it when he was alive? Could it be that his father was already dead? My father, Long Yu could not help but ask. Although it's not easy for you to pick up the Heaven Dragon Spear now, there are some things that I can tell you. Zhong Yun glanced at him, then took a sip of tea and said, I originally thought that the Heaven Dragon Spear would remain here for the rest of its life. I didn't expect a kid like you to have such talent. Following White Cloud's narration, the scenes of the past turned page after page in front of Long Yu's eyes. Long Yu's father, Long Zitian, was born in the Long family of the generals of the Great Tang Empire. The Long family of the generals, the Chu family, and the Mo family were known as the three great clans of the Great Tang Empire. They were the most influential and powerful existences in the entire Great Tang Empire. The generals, ministers, and emperors, the three great clans supported the entire Great Tang Empire. As for the Wang family of the Imperial City, it was one of the four great clans of the Imperial City. The great clans and great clans could not be compared at all. Simply put, the four great clans, including the Wang family, were not as powerful as the Long family of generals. The Long family had countless talented martial cultivators, and generations of them were the generals of the Great Tang Empire. Long Zitian had risen with the momentum of the soaring dragon. At the age of 18, he had already formed his true spirit and stepped into the true spirit secret realm. This extraordinary talent allowed him to become one of the generals of the Great Tang Empire at a young age. It was also after this that Zhong Yun and Long Zitian got to know each other. From the beginning, Feng Chang'e was Long Zitian's deputy general, and Long Zitian never put on airs and called Feng Chang'e a brother. After 10 years of fighting and traveling, Long Zitian and Zhong Yun had fought against the joint invasion of the ancient Meng Kingdom and the Eastern Sun Kingdom many times. For example, before Long Yu had left Jade Pass City, he had already heard of Zhong Yun's ferocious name. However, news about Long Zitian seemed to have been purposely suppressed, and no one dared to say a word. This was what puzzled Long Yu the most. And now, from Zhong Yun's mouth, Long Yu finally learned the truth. It turned out that 10 years after Long Zitian became a general, he met a woman named Bei Yuyao. Not to mention that Bei Yuyao was as beautiful as a fairy, the most important thing was that she came from a force even stronger than the Great Tang Empire. Long Zitian and Bei Yuyao fell in love, but they were obstructed by many experts from the force that Bei Yuyao belonged to. However, after many assassinations and many battles, Long Zitian's terrifying strength shocked everyone. Even the experts that Bei Yuyao's force sent out could not deal with Long Zitian. Helpless, the force put pressure on the Great Tang Empire. In addition, there were many people in the Great Tang Empire who were originally jealous of Long Zitian. After a series of actions, Long Zitian was expelled from the Great Tang Empire. Not only was he stripped of his position as general, he was also expelled from the Long family and the Great Tang Empire, and the reason for his expulsion was treason. This was clearly a false accusation, but it really became the crime that Long Zitian was expelled from the Great Tang Empire. As a result, it can be imagined that Long Zitian had no place to go. The Great Tang Empire could not tolerate him. Moreover, he had once led an army to kill his enemies, and it was the soldiers of the neighboring Gu Meng Kingdom and Dong Ri Kingdom. Those two countries could not tolerate him. Moreover, with Long Zitian's arrogance, it was impossible for him to defect to an enemy country. He and Bei Yuyao wandered outside for a year, but in the end, they were unable to escape this calamity. In the end, after Bei Yuyao gave birth to Long Yu, she was captured by the force she belonged to and there was no more news of her. Long Zitian did not compromise. It was said that he broke into that great force, but no one knew what happened. Even Zhong Yun didn't know Long Zitian's current whereabouts. Only a few pieces of news came, But Zhong Yun knew that Long Zitian had been completely suppressed a long time ago, and most likely even lost his life. As for Feng Chang'e, in order to protect Long Zitian, he was seriously injured and his meridians were severely damaged. In this life, it was impossible for him to step into a higher realm of the martial path. Instead, he could only use the strength of the 8th stage of the martial path, and even his true spirit was completely sealed. After Long Zitian disappeared, Feng Chang'e brought Long Yu back to the Feng family in Jade Pass City to raise him. At the same time, he married a woman from the Lu family, Lu Yu, and gave birth to a daughter, Feng Yao. They settled down in Jade Pass City. In these years, many people wanted to eliminate Long Yu, but in the end, they let him live. Whether it is the Great Tang imperial family, the Long family, or the force your mother belongs to, there are people who want to kill you. Zhong Yun said lightly, however, there are also many people who want to protect you. Because of this, you can live until now. I can understand that there are people who want to kill me. But who wants to protect me? Long Yu frowned. My mother has been captured, and my father's whereabouts are unknown. Apart from them, who else? This, you can only wait until you become stronger and find the truth yourself. Zhong Yun's mustache twitched as he smiled. In the end, I, Zhong Yun, am just an outsider. It is just that I was implicated by your father, so I was also stripped of my position as a general. I can only come to the Zhentian clan to be a sect master. You hate my father? Long Yu asked. What do you think? Zhong Yun snorted. That stinking brat, he ran off to roam the world without telling me. How hateful! Even now, no one knows his whereabouts, and I can only stay in the Zhentian clan until I die of boredom. How boring, how boring! Long Yu could hear that Zhong Yun and Long Zitian's relationship was very good. He simply did not resent being implicated by Long Zitian. Zhong Yun did not care about the position of a general. In his heart, Zhong Yun was most displeased with the fact that Long Zitian had left alone without saying a word. However, there was nothing Long Yu could do about it. He could only guess in his heart. The Great Tang Imperial Clan, the Long Clan of the Generals, and the faction that his mother Bei Yuyao belonged to, who would protect him? He had no understanding of these three aspects at the moment, so it was impossible for him to guess. However, he was sure that apart from Feng Chang'e, there must be someone else in this world who was worried about him. No matter what, I, Long Yu, will ascend to the peak of the martial path and get to the bottom of everything. Long Zitian, my father, I will find you one day, and find out who had framed you for treason. Long Yu made up his mind. In this world where martial arts were respected, as long as one was strong enough, everything would no longer be a problem. I'll leave this Qian Long spear to you now. Zhong Yun felt a lot more relaxed after telling Qin Nan everything he knew. This is no ordinary combat weapon. If it was in perfect condition, it would be stronger than a supreme-ranked combat weapon. It's a pity that the Qian Long spear is damaged. Following his words, Long Yu could feel the Qian Long spear in his hand humming, as if it was feeling sorry for its current state. Sect Leader, are there more grades above supreme-ranked combat weapons and supreme-ranked martial skills? Long Yu asked with a frown. Ever since he had obtained the cultivation method of the 9 Abyss Dragon Fist, he knew that there must be a higher grade than supreme-ranked martial skills. However, he had no idea what it was. Now that he was facing Zhong Yun, he could ask about it. Of course. Chapter 69. A High-Grade Spear Art. In the valley behind the Zhentian clan's martial skill pavilion, there were a total of 9 transcendent martial skills, but none of them were spear arts. If one wanted to practice spear arts, they could only choose from high-grade martial skills. If you enter the true spirit realm, there is a powerful spear art recorded in the Qian Dragon Spear, but you can't use it right now. Bai Yunzong said. Long Yu finally understood why Bai Yunzong wanted him to use a high-grade spear art temporarily. A high-grade spear art would be eliminated sooner or later, but that would have to wait until he entered the true spirit realm. This was not an easy task, or at least, it would take some time. Therefore, Long Yu needed a high-grade spear art to familiarize himself with the Qian Dragon Spear. The spear is always charging forward, and the most important thing is momentum. I've comprehended the heaven-suppressing technique's grand power of heaven and earth, so even if I don't practice spear arts, I can still display great power with the Qian Dragon Spear. Long Yu thought to himself as he bid farewell to Bai Yunzong. Time waited for no man. Bai Yunzong had told him everything he could, so he had to rely on his own efforts. He could feel that the Qian Dragon Spear seemed to be hiding some kind of secret that he couldn't understand at the moment. Perhaps he would be able to pry into it after entering the true spirit realm. For some reason, Long Yu felt that the Qian Dragon Spear seemed to have its own intelligence, but it was deeply hidden, and he couldn't sense it. Soon, Long Yu descended the mountain and arrived at the entrance of the Zhentian clan's martial skill pavilion. Dressed in a tight black outfit, Bufang stood at the edge of the cliff near the martial skill pavilion, gazing at the sea of clouds, attracting the attention of the passing Zhentian clan disciples. Bufang's fame was known by almost all the Zhentian clan disciples. At this moment, they saw Bufang standing there as if he was waiting for someone, which made them curious. Who was the number one core disciple of the sect waiting for? Could it be that he had taken a fancy to a beautiful girl? When Long Yu's figure appeared in front of them, many people's eyes lit up. Why is this kid here? I heard that Long Yu is very strong, to be able to defeat Feng Yun and become the 10th core disciple. Feng Yun died in Jade Pass City, but I received the news that he was killed by the combined forces of the 3 major clans. This Long Yu only picked up a bargain at most. I think so too. However, just based on this, he actually became the 10th core disciple in an instant. It's really too unfair. In 2 days, the reward for this month's core disciples will be released. This Long Yu has picked up a big bargain. Every disciple sect clan's hall. Clan Zhan Tian sect disciple clan sect clan of sect disciples clans sect of sect. Inner disciples could get a low-grade elixir every 2 months, or a mid-grade elixir every 4 months. The disciples could choose for themselves. Sect of sect of QS ranked core disciples, for example, if Long Yu was ranked 10th, he would receive a high-rank pill every month, or a high-rank combat weapon if he maintained his rank for 3 months. If he maintained his rank for half a year, he would receive a supreme rank pill. If he maintained his rank for a year, he would receive a supreme rank combat weapon. Other than pills and combat weapons, core disciples would also receive other rewards, which were helpful in increasing one's strength. Of course, every disciple would have to accept special missions from the sect when they received their reward. For example, they would have to collect herbs, kill a fierce beast, chase down a defected disciple, capture enemies of the sect, and so on. Once these missions were completed, the next reward would be guaranteed. If the mission was not completed, the next reward would not be given, and the disciple would only receive a new mission. Although Long Yu had been a disciple for 3 months, he had always been different from the ordinary disciples. Apart from improving too quickly, he did not interact much with the ordinary disciples. He did not receive the sect's rewards, and of course, he did not complete any missions for the sect. But now, the reward for becoming a core disciple would be given in 2 days. If Long Yu received his reward, it would definitely increase his strength by a lot, and at the same time, he would receive a mission. The higher one's rank was, the better the reward would be, and the more difficult the mission would be. It was precisely because of this that many people felt jealous of Long Yu. They all felt that with Long Yu's strength, he was not qualified to be ranked 10th among the core disciples. Yet, 2 days later, he would be given a reward based on his current rank, which made them unhappy. Long Yu strolled over, and when he saw that the people around him seemed to be unhappy with him, he couldn't help but feel puzzled. Ranked 10th among the core disciples? Reward? Of course, Long Yu knew about the Gentian clan's rules for disciple rewards. He was just a little surprised that he had replaced Feng Yun and become the 10th among the core disciples. He did not think too much about it and only greeted Bu Feng. Senior Bu, Long Yu waved his hand. Seeing his action, the surrounding people instantly revealed a mocking expression. Who did this Long Yu think he was? Did he think that Senior Bu would agree to his request just because he called him Senior Bu? Who didn't know that Senior Bu, the #1 core disciple in the sect, had an arrogant temperament. If one was not at the same level as him, one would not even bother to interact with him. This Long Yu was definitely going to be humiliated. However, just as these people were thinking about this, Bu Feng's action gave them a huge shock. Junior brother Long Yu, come over here. This is a letter from Ling Han, take it. Bu Feng turned around, and with a swing of his hand, he threw an envelope over. Pa Long Yu caught it with one hand and casually said, "Thank you, Senior Bu, haha, I'll be leaving first." Bu Feng laughed arrogantly, turned around, and instantly disappeared from everyone's sight. This caused the surrounding people to be dumbfounded. Senior Bu had been standing there for so long just to wait for this Long Yu? Furthermore, he was only here to deliver a messenger pigeon to Long Yu. He was actually waiting here personally. Could it be that there was something special about this Long Yu? That's right, this Long Yu seemed to have some sort of relationship with the sect elder. Many people thought that their guess was correct. This Long Yu must have a relationship with the sect elder, which was why he was able to progress so smoothly and receive all kinds of resources from the sect. Otherwise, how could this Long Yu rise from the 4th stage to the 8th stage of the martial path in just 3 months? Moreover, with his cultivation at the 8th stage of the martial path, how could he replace Feng Yun and become the 10th core disciple? In the past, when a core disciple died outside, all the disciples behind him would move up one rank, leaving the 108th position empty. But now, this was an exception for Long Yu. Unfortunately, no matter what the surrounding people thought, Long Yu would not care about them. He put away Ling Han's letter and stepped into the martial skill pavilion. He walked towards the 3rd floor of the martial skill pavilion, preparing to choose a high-grade spear technique. The 1st floor of the martial skill pavilion was a place to cultivate the heaven-suppressing technique. The 2nd floor was where outer disciples chose martial technique. The 3rd floor that Long Yu headed to was only accessible to inner disciples. Long Yu? He had just stepped into the 3rd floor when a clear voice filled with joy suddenly sounded. Long Yu looked up and discovered that it was Liao Lele. This beautiful girl was also here to choose a martial technique. Liao Lele, I didn't expect you to be so fast. You're already at the 6th stage of the martial path. When Long Yu saw her, he couldn't help but feel a sense of familiarity. At that time, he could be said to have no relatives in the Jintian clan. When he faced Feng Yang, Feng Kong, and Feng Yun alone, it was this girl who had always been by his side. Are you mocking me? You're already in the 8th stage of the martial path, and I'm only in the 6th stage. You call this fast? Liao Lele lightly snorted as her eyes flashed with an indescribable light. She quickly came before Long Yu and raised her head. Not bad, you're indeed in the 8th stage of the martial path. You can even defeat Feng Yun, who's in the 9th stage of the martial path. Impressive, impressive. This matter has spread pretty fast. Long Yu smiled. It had only been 2 days since the incident in Jade Pass City, but he didn't expect it to spread throughout the entire Jintian clan. Feng Yun is already dead, so of course it would spread fast. Liao Lele rolled her eyes. On the other hand, you were made an exception and replaced Feng Yun as the 10th ranked core disciple. This caused many core disciples to be secretly dissatisfied. Didn't a fellow go to the Elder Pavilion to challenge you? Challenge me? Long Yu was stunned when he heard this. That's right, the one who challenged you this time is Meng Su, who's ranked 15th. If you're defeated by him, you'll drop to 15th, and your rewards for this month will be much lower, Liao Lele explained. Ranked 15th, Mengsu. Long Yu squinted his eyes. He had never heard of this Mengsu before. In terms of strength, he should be stronger than Ling Lai, but not Feng Yun. Now that Long Yu could even defeat Feng Yun with a single punch, he naturally wouldn't be afraid of this Mengsu. Oh right, do you know what the reward for the 10th ranked core disciple is? Long Yu asked. It's a high-grade elixir and a chance to cultivate in the Valley of Ancestors for 3 days. Liao Lele said straightforwardly, if you drop to 15th, you'll still get the high-grade elixir, but you'll only have 2 days to cultivate in the Valley of Ancestors. Cultivate in the Valley of Ancestors. When Long Yu heard this, he instantly had some expectations. After all, he had stayed in the Zhentian clan for a long time, so he naturally knew what the Valley of Ancestors was. It was a cultivation ground that only core disciples could enter, and it was extremely beneficial for cultivators to comprehend the heaven-suppressing art. In the Zhentian clan, more than 80% of cultivators comprehended the heaven-suppressing art while cultivating in the Valley of Ancestors. If I can cultivate in the Valley of Ancestors, I'll be able to consolidate the power of heaven and earth, and increase my understanding of the law of heaven and earth, laying the foundation for my domain. Long Yu thought in his heart. Cultivating in the Valley of Ancestors was the most important reward for the Zhentian clan's core disciples. As for the high-grade elixir, it wasn't that important. This was because all the core disciples had already reached the 8th or 9th stage of the martial path. A mere high-grade elixir could only save them 1 or 2 months of cultivation time, and it wouldn't allow them to break through quickly and increase their strength. Chapter 70. Long Yu wanted to enter the Sect Valley to cultivate in order to consolidate the power of heaven and earth, and lay the foundation for the cultivation of the domain. If other Zhentian clan disciples knew about this, they would all find it hard to believe. When they hadn't even comprehended the concept, or when they had just comprehended the concept, they were worlds apart from the divine charm. But Long Yu had already grasped the momentum of the world. Among all the disciples of the Zhentian clan, those who could comprehend the power of heaven and earth could be counted on one hand. Walking was one, and so was Long Yu. Other than them, only the top few core disciples could possibly have mastered the power of heaven and earth. That Mengsu, when is he going to challenge me? Long Yu asked Liao Lele. 2 days later, at the arena, Liao Lele said. Also, 3 days later, you can go to the Elder Cabinet to receive your reward. I know you comprehended the heaven suppression technique early, so you have to grasp the opportunity to cultivate in the Sect Valley. Long Yu nodded, indicating that he understood. Then I'll leave first. Come back and cultivate with me after you've chosen your martial arts technique. Liao Lele giggled and turned to leave. Long Yu looked at her back until she left. Only then did he start to prepare to do his own things. As he paced, he opened the messenger pigeon in his hand. This letter was sent by Ling Han from the Ling family villa, signed by Long Yu. He found a secluded corner and unfolded the letter. To Brother Long, once he saw the signature at the beginning, Long Yu's entire face darkened. This Ling Han, was he going to let him read the letter in a pleasant manner? However, as Long Yu continued to read, the contents of the letter caused a look of contemplation to surface in his eyes. The Ling family villa, a great treasure is about to appear. This Ling Han invited me to meet him at the Ling family villa in half a month's time to explore the treasure together. Long Yu thought that since he had nothing to do in half a month's time, he might as well make a trip to the Ling family villa. He casually walked to the wall of the martial skill pavilion, beside a lit candle, and burned the letter along with the envelope, leaving no trace behind. Then, he went to the bookshelf of spear techniques and started to choose. Heaven Suppression Spear Technique. Long Yu flipped through it for a while and quickly picked out a high-grade spear technique. There were not many people who cultivated the heaven-suppressing spear art. This was because in order to unleash the might of the heaven-suppressing spear art, there was a prerequisite, and that was to comprehend the concept of the heaven-suppressing spear art. The deeper one's understanding of the heaven-suppression spear technique, the more powerful it would be. The Gentian clan created this spear technique to complement the heaven-suppression spear technique. Other martial techniques could not directly use the suppressive laws of heaven and earth. However, this heaven-suppressing spear art could infuse the suppressive state, divine charm, and even the power of heaven and earth. The spear was like a dragon, suppressing all living things. Although this heaven-suppression spear technique is only a superior spear technique, if it is combined with the laws of heaven and earth, the power it can display is definitely not inferior to a superior martial art technique. Long Yu's eyes lit up. Moreover, the combat weapon in his hand was left behind by his father, a super combat weapon that surpassed the supreme grade, the Qian Dragon Spear. If the Heaven Suppression Spear technique was combined with the Qian Dragon Spear, how powerful would it be if it was combined with the laws of heaven and earth? Let's wait and see. Long Yu chose the heaven-suppressing spear art and firmly memorized the cultivation method within it before leaving the martial skill pavilion. What he did not expect was that as soon as he walked out of the martial skill pavilion, a group of people walked over aggressively and blocked his way. "Everyone, what can I do for you?" Long Yu glanced at them and found that they were all experts of the 8th and 9th level of the martial path. Almost all of them were core disciples. Outside the martial skill pavilion, many disciples were looking over, pointing and whispering to each other. They looked at Long Yu as if Long Yu was in trouble. "You're Long Yu?" A disdainful voice came from the leader of the group. Long Yu looked at the person and realized that he looked familiar. He actually looked a little similar to Luo Qinghui from the Feng family of Jade Pass City. "You're from the Luo family?" Long Yu asked. "I'm the adopted son of the Luo family, Luo Tailong." A fierce glint flashed in the leader's eyes. Long Yu looked at him carefully and saw that the person's eyes were fierce and his aura was as steady as Mount Tai, full of strength. Long Yu could tell from experience that Luo Tailong had killed many people, and most of them had been brutally killed. Otherwise, he would not have accumulated so much hostility. "Since you are Long Yu, 2 days from now will be the day of your death." The fierce glint in Luo Tailong's eyes was like that of the Grim Reaper, enveloping Long Yu. Luo Tailong smiled disdainfully, walked past Long Yu, and entered the martial skill pavilion. The nearby Gentian clan disciples started discussing. "That's Luo Tailong. I heard that a few days ago, he came out of seclusion after half a year and successfully challenged the 6th-ranked core disciple. Luo Tailong from the Luo family is famous. He was previously ranked 12th among the core disciples with extraordinary strength. It's a pity that he received news of his foster father's death the moment he came out of seclusion. How pitiful! Wasn't the head of the Luo family of Jade Pass City, Luo Tailong's foster father, killed by Long Yu? Now, Luo Tailong will definitely make a move against Long Yu to avenge his foster father. Your news is too outdated. Luo Tailong has already made his move. In 2 days, the 15th-ranked core disciple, Meng Su, who will challenge Long Yu, is Luo Tailong's man. Hearing the words of the surrounding people, Long Yu finally understood the gist of the matter. Meng Su, who was about to challenge him, was actually Luo Tailong's follower. And the current 6th-ranked core disciple, Luo Tailong, was actually the foster son of Luo Qinghui of Jade Pass City. Luo Tailong, what a Luo Tailong! A cold glint flashed in Long Yu's eyes. Luo Tailong was extremely strong, at least slightly stronger than Feng Yun. Otherwise, he wouldn't be ranked 6th among the Gentian clan's core disciples. The top 5 core disciples of the Gentian clan were all powerful existences that had condensed their true spirit. Therefore, the 6th-ranked core disciple, Luo Tailong, could be said to be the strongest person below the true spirit realm. The existence of such a person was definitely a threat to Long Yu. Even if he couldn't threaten him, he could threaten Feng Chang'e and the Feng family of Jade Pass City. Even if you didn't provoke me, I would still eliminate you. Since you've taken the initiative to find trouble with me, that's for the best. Long Yu thought coldly as he stepped out of the martial skill pavilion. He had to kill Luo Tailong. Otherwise, he would be leaving behind a future threat for Feng Chang'e and the Feng family. Of course, even if he wanted to kill someone, he had to find the most suitable time to do so. After all, the other party was a core disciple of the Zhentian clan. Long Yu couldn't just run over and kill him. Wouldn't that be disregarding the sex rules? Long Yu definitely wouldn't do such a thing that would cause him to be criticized by others. After all, there were many ways to deal with Luo Tailong. At the peak of the Sky Suppression Canyon, Liao Lele, who was dressed in a blue robe, was cultivating the high-grade defensive martial technique, Imperial Boulder. Imperial Boulder was indeed the most popular defensive martial technique of the Zhentian clan. Especially after cultivating it to its peak, one could turn a boulder into an earth fist, combining both offense and defense. It was extremely powerful. Thus, Liao Lele chose this martial skill to cultivate. As for Long Yu, he was on the other side, wielding the Heaven Dragon Spear as he cultivated the Heaven-suppressing Spear art. On one hand, he needed to cultivate the Heaven-suppressing Spear art. On the other hand, he needed to familiarize himself with the weight and shape of the Heaven Dragon Spear. Since he was going to use the Heaven-suppressing Spear art, he needed to be familiar with all aspects of the Heaven Dragon Spear. Only then would he be able to control it as if it was his own arm. If he couldn't even control the weapon in his hand, how could he use it to fight? He might as well not use the weapon at all. As long as the Heaven-suppressing Spear art reaches the small success stage, it will be able to fuse with the laws of heaven and earth. Whether it's the concept, the charm, the power of heaven and earth, or even the domain, they can all be fused into it, greatly increasing the power of the spear. Now that I've comprehended the power of heaven and earth, even if it's only at the small success stage of the heaven-suppressing spear art, I can still intimidate all cultivators under the true spirit realm. The only difference is how long it lasts. The small success stage of the heaven-suppressing spear art might not be enough to deal with Luo Tailong, but it's more than enough to deal with Meng Su. As Long Yu cultivated, he evaluated his opponent's strength. He wouldn't allow himself to fail, so he had to work even harder. Although Luo Tailong had successfully challenged the sixth core disciple, it didn't mean that he didn't have the strength to defeat the fifth core disciple. Perhaps he just didn't have 100% confidence. In Long Yu's mind, he had already imagined Luo Tailong to be a true spirit realm expert. This was the only way to prevent him from underestimating his enemy and encountering any unexpected situations that could lead to accidents. Heaven-suppressing spear art, spear like a dragon, suppress. Long Yu leaped high into the air. Wielding his spear with both hands, the spear shot out like a swimming dragon. At this moment, it was as if a dragon's roar had reached his head, causing the blood in his body to boil. This is the spirituality of the Heaven Dragon Spear. It's like a real dragon, stimulating the power of my profound chi and increasing the power of my martial skills. At this moment, Long Yu could clearly feel a spirituality hidden within the Heaven Dragon Spear. Perhaps this was the effect of communicating with a weapon. Of course, this didn't mean that Long Yu had become compatible with the Heaven Dragon Spear in a short period of time. This Heaven Dragon Spear was the weapon used by Long Yu's father, Long Zitian. Perhaps it had spirituality that was compatible with Long Zitian, and it was stimulated by the same bloodline. Long Yu had the same bloodline as Long Zitian in his body. This was the bloodline of the Long family of generals. However, Long Yu had been expelled from the family, and so had Long Zitian. At this moment, the spirituality of the Heaven Dragon Spear seemed to be crying. Long Yu's spear thrust instantly filled the entire summit of the canyon with the power of heaven and earth. Even Elder Black and Elder White, who were playing chess not far away, couldn't help but look over. It's indeed the power of heaven and earth. Sect Master didn't misjudge him. Elder White's eyes were filled with admiration as he stroked his beard. Impressive. Elder Black also nodded, his eyes filled with surprise. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.